June 8, 2026. Want to welcome our guests, our visitors. Thank you for coming and seeing what's going on in your city. At this time, we're going to have pledge of allegiance and invocation. If you'll stand and do that. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, we come to you tonight thanking for all your many blessings for another day that we can come and conduct city business. Pray you will lead and guide us. Pray you be with some of our citizens. I've noticed it's had death in their families, 2 or 3, but pray you'll just be with them during this time. Just lead, guide, and direct us. We ask in your name. Amen. Thank you. All right, the next thing is review, amend if needed, and approve the proposed regular agenda. And I'm told under 8, public hearing, we need to put economical development hearing, and we'd like to make it A, and the hearing on the yearly budget as B. Can I have a motion to do that?
I make a motion that we approve the amended agenda with the addition of the economic development and under 8B.
Yeah, 8A will be the economical development public hearing, and B will be the public hearing on proposed financial year 26-27 annual budget.
Got it.
All right, who made the motion? Paul made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Debbie second. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything to amend the agenda with before I ask for a vote?
Mayor, I'd like to move the closed session to the end of the meeting.
You want to move it to where, sir?
The end of the meeting,
To the end of the meeting?
13B. No, 13C.
Okay,
That's number 9.
Yes,
Move it to 13C.
yes.
all right, so we're moving 9 down to 14, right?
13C.
Or 13C.
13C.
13C, okay. We're
Very
moving
last.
down to 13C.
That's just a motion. We ain't got a second and a vote yet.
So we'll move that closed session to the bottom, okay? You've heard the motion,
So I second that.
got Paul second, all in favor? Okay. Anything else for approve, request of a motion to approve agenda?
Let me ask you this, Rod.
Yes.
If we put it at 14A, see, all that says upcoming events.
Yeah,
If we just move the closed session to 14A and do the adjournment 14B, wouldn't that be?
that's
more
fine.
in line? Can you amend the motion to that?
Okay, I'll amend the motion to move the closed session to 14A.
I second the amended motion.
And then adjournment would be B,
Adjournment would be B.
capital B, yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And I did want to mention too, reappointment of a planning and zoning member. So we needed to add that. What was that, Darian? Yeah, is there,
We have somebody quit on P and Z
No,
no.
she just wanted, she's up for a
appointment.
renewal.
Want to add that to consent?
So we could add it to the consent.
Who we added to the consent? Who is the one that is up?
Patty.
Barbecue Patty?
Yeah.
Can we just put that into the consent agenda? Would that be
Yeah.
okay with the council?
Fine with me.
All right, so J, K, that'll be L.
Wait,
F.
It'd be, it'd be,
EF,
F, wouldn't it?
EF, consent agenda.
yeah,
Go back to the front page.
Front page, number 5, F.
Oh,
Yeah. Go to.
yeah, okay, guys, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong page. All right, Patty, for the P and Z is
Yeah.
in the consent agenda.
Yeah.
All right, anything else before we? All right, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda as we've modified it.
I make a motion to approve the final agenda with all the modifications that we've included in it.
Wait a minute, you had a
I'll
motion,
second.
right?
Yeah.
We had a motion.
Okay, so
Right, can you,
you
who
second
seconded?
I
it?
second the motion.
Good,
All right, all in favor?
good.
Okay. All right, we have a consent agenda, which we've discussed a little bit. I'll take a motion to approve
What about recognition?
approve it as we've changed it.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Walker, second. All in favor? Okay. All right, the next is, on the second page, 7A, an ordering the City of Trinity contractor or code enforcement officer to proceed with the, whatever that is, purpose to Trinity Minimum Housing Code and GS 160D-1203, 1498 Firewood Drive in Penn 7708621734. And I reckon that'd be Eric.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council. I'm going to run through a quick timeline of this violation. In July of 2025, a complaint was received concerning the condition of the house. A investigation found that there's damage to the roof, multiple windows missing, rotten frames, missing and rotten fascia boards, damage to the foundation, and it is open to the elements, and it's got a lot of places that are open to the elements. In October of 2025, another complaint was received and a site visit was conducted with a former deputy down here at the property. Several complaints have been received between now and when we had the hearing. Neighbors complained about nefarious activity, squatting, and animal infestation. On January 20th of 2026, a complaint notice of hearing letter was mailed, first class certified, to the owners of record. That letter was delivered January 28th. There was also a letter posted on the house. On February 9th, 2026, the hearing was held. No parties attended. The same day, the finding of facts and order letter was prepared, giving them 90 days to either repair or demolish on their own. That letter was also mailed first class certified to the owners of record. It was posted on the property on February 13th. On May 10th, it was found that no effort was made to repair or secure the house. The ordinance letter was prepared, and the notification of this meeting for tonight was also prepared and mailed to the owners. Now, I can answer any questions. Well, Barry, let me address something for you. I think he's talking about it a little bit earlier. I'll handle the removal of the drop cord from the pole to the house if there is one. Most of these contractors that I deal with, they'll have 811 or whoever it is come out and mark whatever utilities are underground. Y'all have the bids in front of you from some fairly local contractors. Yeah, that's all I got. Y'all got any questions for
Eric,
me?
on this, on the paperwork that you sent out, do you know what address that was mailed to, all your correspondence?
There was one sent to, I ain't got the title opinion in front of me. My files are in Greensboro. Joyce Ann Neely, 1304 Fuller Mill Road in Thomasville.
Is that
There,
the woman that was referenced living there at one point?
not sure. There was something in like some old reports about a elderly woman living there.
Yeah.
But when they did the investigation, nothing was found. It was found to be vacant.
She's actually in a nursing home now, so I don't know if that is, I mean, legal, what you did, send it over there to 1304, but she's been in a nursing home for the last 3 or 4 months. She's in pretty bad shape.
Okay. And other ones are mailed to Carrie Lawrence Neely, and that address, going off the title search, was 4196 Fairwood. These letters were mailed certified. I know, if I can remember correctly, somebody picked one up on February 28th. Yeah, February 28th.
You know who
And-
signed for that?
I don't have the green card in front of me. My files are being going through in Greensboro to make sure we got everything lined up for all these cases we're doing.
So what you're saying, everything's been notified and it's time for it to be removed?
Yes, sir. I'm very confident in saying that everybody's been properly notified, and
And
here we
the
are.
bidding process ended on the 5th, June 5th, to where they submit their bids.
That
to
was
you.
Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Friday at 10.
Did they submit a bid?
They did. I think we got 4 back.
I didn't have a copy of the bid, so I got the paperwork that you sent
You
in.
do, Mayor.
Huh.
It should be in your paperwork over there. Yeah.
Oh, it's in, okay.
There's like a couple, there's one that's got a copy.
Okay.
As y'all can see on the bids too, I asked them to give a timeline when they could start and all that good stuff.
That's DH Griffin. Yeah.
And then there's A1.
Okay, so, council, you've heard the, recommendation from, the code guy. It seems like everything is in order, so what's your desire? How many bids do we have, Eric? Just 2?
4,
Oh, you got 4.
yeah. KBS, DH Griffin, A1 Services, and Spencer's Environmental.
I want to get them with the files, so I'll have them. All right, I got them. Okay, council, I'll take a motion to proceed with the removal of the property on 4194 Fairwood Drive in Trinity, North Carolina.
Motion, we proceed.
Second.
Walker, 1, Debbie, 2nd. Any discussion?
No, I'm just curious, on the bid process, if the council doesn't want to accept these bids, if they are higher, and of course taxpayers are paying for it, do we have an option to rebid it, or we have to take these bids that we have?
I guess I Bob about that.
That's a legal question.
Well,
We actually got these bids ourselves, right?
Yeah, I solicited them, yeah.
Okay.
we just need to follow the statutory guidelines on it, I know that.
Well, yeah, we don't want to be coming after you for improper information.
That's right.
Just cause it's you.
No,
I think you just need to inform, somebody's a cheaper bid, Councilman Allison, I think you just need to inform them to be on the lookout in the future. With Eric already doing this work, getting 4 bids, I don't see that it's necessary to go get one more, even though if it is cheaper. That person just needs to bid in the future.
Is there a website or something, Eric, where you put these out on, or you contact these folks
I have
via email, or?
we got a list of vendors. We got about 12 of them do demolition work, and I just send it to all of them. If you want to give him my contact information, I believe it's on there somewhere.
Sure.
Go right ahead. I'm always looking for contractors.
Thank you.
Well, there's 2 of the bids. It's pretty close anyway. Well, if we don't get another bid, we don't have to go through that, do we, Bob?
well, let me do this.
Okay.
I don't, that's not my wheelhouse, I'm looking it up. If you'll just hold off on this one till I look at this, and I'll give you the timetable. There's procedure, you gotta be very procedure specific when you demolish a house.
Oh, I know.
If you don't dot every I and cross every T, it can be overturned.
We can be buying the house.
Exactly one you tore down. So I'd recommend if you just move this one down a little bit, let me look it up. Because I didn't have this question prior to coming in. I don't do code enforcement.
Just move it a little further on the agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I'll let you know when I find something that answers it.
Okay. All right, Eric, thanks for all your work, bud.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, council, you've heard the request from the attorney, so let's move on down to B, which is the Center City Park budget amendment, and I believe the city manager is going to cover that.
Thank you, Mayor. So yeah, this is basically, we're doing an amendment to the contract for the park. And that's to add the public services facility on there. So it's basically just marrying the project together. You have in your agenda, well, the loose leaf documents and the ones that I emailed over. Basically what they're doing the surveys and everything. And we actually have the Withers folks here tonight to speak on behalf of that. So if they're ready, I'll go ahead and turn that over to them.
Thank you, Michael. Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is John Courtney, and I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation for Withers Ravenel. And I have with me Michael Alderman, who is the Senior Project Manager, who's working specifically on this project. And we're happy to be here to give you a brief overview of the project, a little bit of history of how we got to where we are today, and then we'll look at the schedule for the future so that you can start to anticipate activities out there. Michael will speak a little bit about the design. I'll speak a little about the schedule. And we'll go to the next slide, if you don't mind. This is just an overview of where we were before and where we are today. So last year, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan was created for the town, and that's a long-range comprehensive plan. Included in that plan was the concept diagram for this park. And then subsequent to that, just a few months ago, a grant was applied for, part of Parks and Recreation Trust Fund, which comes from the sale of properties throughout the state to fund that trust fund. And Trinity was fortunate enough to win that grant application, one amount of $500,000, which is required to be matched. So that's $1 million of construction funds that are available. And so just a month or so ago, a couple months ago, we wrote a proposal for the actual design and engineering of this park. And then here we are today with the opportunity to add the Public Works new building, new facility to the project because it's on this site. It's a really good site. On the opposite side of the park, and Michael will go into that a little bit. And then the future project is really what we're here to talk about, and that is engineering it, designing the building to meet the needs, and then designing and having a park constructed for the community. So I'll have Michael go into some of the details of the design on the next slide.
Good evening. As John mentioned, I'm Michael Alderman. I'm a landscape architect and the project manager for this project. I just wanted to give you some background and context of where we are and what's on tonight's agenda. So this slide here shows the original contract that has actually kicked off back in April. Michael Burrows and Rodney and I and some other representatives from Withers kicked off the project, and one of the first things we heard was we might want to add the Public Works facility. And so the other addition that was requested was some pickleball courts. So, but what is originally approved is on your screen. So that is the flexible lawn, the playground. There's a comfort station with bathrooms, a temporary stage area, and a shelter, as well as some paved trails and a picnic area. And so this would accompany what's existing, which is your maintenance facility. So this was, I'll go to the next slide. We updated a graphic that we presented to Part F. And so this is what is approved on the Part F grant. And you can see all the things in green on your screen. Maybe I can, oh, no, it's not like that. But whereas everything else in orange is future. And so some of the future things that were identified in that master plan that John mentioned at the start were the maintenance facility, the pickleball courts, and some parking. So in the base phase one scenario, we've got the existing parking lot, and then some of these new improvements, and then we would have had the maintenance facility that's existing on site.
I can point some of those things out over here if it helps. So you have the screen too. This is the development area, the phase one scope of the project. And then the maintenance facility is
It's the
kind of right here where the pickleball courts need to go. So the long-range vision was to replace the maintenance facility later on, but now the desire is to add pickleball courts in that location and address the public works facility over here on the opposite side of the park, which you'll get to.
Yeah, if you jump to the next slide, this is what's included in the amendment. So as John mentioned, we would be removing the existing maintenance facility, adding the 2 pickleball courts, hopefully with some lighting. And then that red box sort of outlines the limit of phase one construction in that area. It's worth noting that we've already had received approval for some survey work for that area, and we've also gone ahead and started the survey work for the other red box on the western parcel boundary for the added public works facility. So that included a boundary survey, a topo survey, an SUE, which is underground utilities, and so we were able to get all that included before we even started the phase one project or the base scope. So, we've been able to keep roughly on the original schedule. Any questions before I keep going? All right, I'll jump to the next.
How big is the picnic shelter that's in there?
Ooh, good question. I'd have to look that up for a specific answer on here. It was identified probably in the Part F grant as a
Because we also talked about doing a large family-sized picnic shelter, and I think the discussion was at one point that we would maybe use that slab for that purpose. I mean, we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
the slab of the existing maintenance facility. Okay, I'll note that down.
Yeah, I think the few people we talked to through Part F, I think the consensus was that would just be a really big shelter.
It would be bigger than New London.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it'd be 60 by.
It's definitely something that we can entertain and investigate in our first schematic design phase.
I mean, the original that we talked about was to design this park very similar to what they have at New London. And they have a large shelter with, maybe 8 picnic tables? 8 to 10 in that area. And then the bathrooms were attached to that.
Yeah.
And then when the parks steering committee, whenever they meet, they can hash that out with
We
you
can hash
folks,
that
too.
out, I guess.
Yeah, so
That maintenance building's, it may be about 3 times the size of that shelter.
Really like to
Really?
see
Is it really that big?
two on there. Really like to see 2 picnic shelters to mirror like
Yeah.
what New London's got. I really think once we get to the design and the plans together, we can get those 2 picnic shelters paid for.
as part of the project?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, they wouldn't have to be, like one on one side of the park and one on the other side of the park. And maybe the bathroom's in the middle. So you got the bathroom in the middle right now. You got the picnic shelter over there, maybe come over towards the parking lot with another picnic shelter up on this end.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, we're gonna have in September.
We get
some of us
together,
are
yeah,
gonna be
we'll-
on the, design committee
Yeah.
but yeah, this, makes sense to combine. And I know that's for tonight, but, now the trails are future. Right now, they're in orange, so okay.
Except for the ones that are in that square, right?
Really good feedback. And whenever we were doing design for parks, we like to show lots of different options
Yeah.
during the design
It's exciting.
process.
It's very exciting. So,
Yeah.
So you'll be able to react to those, and the committee will have a lot of input in that.
yeah, we can get
We'll
in
be
the
back
weeds.
here
Yeah.
to present things and get your input at that point.
Yeah, that's the, as you said, the fun part is, once we get that survey information, we can start overlaying that with, this is really just a preliminary drawing.
Right.
But that had, some design input, but things get real when, the survey comes online and we start talking more with steering committee and other folks. So,
Basically, you guys are needing to
right
pull in the two red boxes
Well, that should
for
be the
tonight.
place.
yeah, what's great about this opportunity is, it frees up rooms where the pickleball courts could go potentially. Maybe we use that area for a shelter, but we've got flexibility in our design options.
Right.
And we didn't get too far ahead on schematic design phase before we're here presenting to you all.
Are we going to have any kind of roadway or anything to get to where the pickleball courts are, or like a path or something? I'm just thinking of older people who love to play pickleball.
No.
May not,
It's funny you mention that because
there is an existing road.
there is the
isn't
existing road and we were already starting to discuss what that could be used for. Do we need to remove it, or is that actually an opportunity to provide some vehicle access closer to those facilities? I think that's one of the first things we're going to look at. What's required by code, and then what's sort of owner preference from your team.
If there's a pickleball court, it don't make a difference where it's at, they'll find it. I saw them today in Ashburn, and they were all down there, couldn't hardly walk, but they playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Well, luckily you've got a big parking facility here already.
Do a golf cart transport.
Everything's on the table. I'll go ahead and move to the next slide. This was shared with us on that first kickoff meeting from Michael and Rodney. The Public Works facility, I think, had been taken sort of to a design level phase. So they shared some colored elevations, and on the next slide is a plan drawing of that Public Works facility, which is a great time for us to kick off and share this with our architectural consultant that we since reached out to say, hey, can you take this all the way from design through construction? So we took this, we shared it with our design partners. They provided a fee for us to integrate into this amendment. And I believe this was also used for budgetary reasons and stuff like that. If you go to the next slide, I just included the full master plan for reference, and you can see with adding the maintenance facility, adding the pickleball facility, you're getting a lot closer to that big vision of the full master plan. And so that's really exciting. We won't be doing the parking lot in this phase and some of the trails, as Paul mentioned. I just wanted to note that these new items, the maintenance facility and the pickleball courts, were not included in the original Part F grant. So technically those funds, are set aside for that. When it all goes out to bid, those funds will be tracked sort of separately, but sort of as one whole project. We're not going to bid this out separately. It'll be under one umbrella.
Sir, what's C on that corner right there? You got it as a community center?
Yeah, that's listed as a community center, I believe identified in that full master plan process as a potential rec center. Maybe it's for indoor sports activities, maybe it's for older community as a gathering center, but that's not something that we've included in this phase one. It's just long-term planning. The other thing I bring up this is because when we're dealing with a phase one scope, we want to make sure that we're not pigeonholing you into something, and maybe now's a good time to bring in various utilities, stub those up, because we'll get it all in, so we're not ripping anything out in phase two. Yeah. Doing the pickleball now, for instance, is a great way of not having to rip something up later and doing it in one hit. I'll turn it back over to John if you jump to the next slide to just discuss the phase one timeline.
So as Michael said, we've already gotten the survey started. Or is it completed yet, or is it getting close? It's
They've done all the
couple
field
weeks.
work.
Okay, yeah. So we'll probably have the actual survey in our hands in a week, 2 weeks, something like that. And we'll be able to start the physical design of it, and then meet with the committee, share some sketches, get some feedback, refine those, and then go ahead and get geotechnical engineering out to bore down and see what the foundations need, how they need to be designed. And we'll be able to do both sites now, since we now know there's a building going on the east side or the west side of the site, and buildings going on the east side of the site as well. We'll come back to council, make presentations, and then have cost estimates run, so that we'll know if there's any phasing that might need to be done, or what the budget will be for construction. Then we'll do refining. Step 3 is refine those, create construction documents so that we'll have bid packages ready to be able to issue and advertise for bids. That'll go out. Those bids will then get analyzed, and then hopefully there will be a qualified low bidder that you can take action and award a bid to, and then construction will begin. And that'll happen really in the early part of the spring, 2026, for potential 2020. Oh yeah, there's a typo there. So we're working on the construction drawings, and we're bidding it at really the best time of the year to be bidding projects, when contractors are looking for work and they're trying to line things up for the spring. So in January, those bids would be taken, and then about a year and 3 months or so later, that's the estimate of what the duration for construction on all the projects, or all of the work. So by the spring of 2027, you would have a new public works facility, and then you'd have this park operational for a nice ribbon cutting ceremony, and then start using the project. So that is all we had to present to you. We wanted to be brief, but thorough but brief. So if you have any questions, we're here to entertain and answer whatever we can answer for you.
How do you pick the contractor that's going to do the public works building?
It will be it'll be a low bid process that will be issued, and there'll be an article that goes out, on the internet and on newspapers. There's a process that that is mandatory for any sort of public project. So, and then we'll analyze those bids. There'll be qualification requirements in them that we'll be able to address. If we feel like there's some issues with the low bidder, we will address those and make recommendations to the council. And usually low bid wins, but not always. If there are some issues or complications with their bid or with their reputation, we will share that with you and allow the council to make the decision.
But we want the best for our buck, so.
Yes.
I know there's some local people, of course, they'll bid probably if they know the project's going on.
Yeah, good.
More than likely, it's going to be somebody you guys have dealt with before and are comfortable with.
That is the hope.
Regardless of the bid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look to extend our network and reach out to as many, general contractors as we can to gauge interest. But as John said, we'll host it on the Quest portal, and that'll be available to any general contractor that's looking to do work in this area. And hopefully between those two, we'll drum up enough interest. We'll host a meeting on site, like a pre-bid meeting, maybe walk the site, maybe we'll meet here or something because we're right on the park property. And then, that'll be a gauge of who's interested. We could certainly reach out to our architectural partners to see who they've been working with on these kind of facilities. So, hoping to get a very competitive low bid, but a low responsible bid, as John mentioned.
Yeah, and there is one advantage of lumping these two projects into these two sides of the park into the same bid. It gives you a better economy of scale, and you'll get better quality contractors who will see a larger project, who will see the attractiveness of it, and hopefully you'll get some very competitive bids. And I believe you'll get a much better final result in terms of affordability by combining them together as compared as if you bid two separate projects. You know, that really hurts your economy of scale. If you do one and then a year later you do another one, you'll end up paying more. Lump them together, you will get a better bid, and you should get a better bid for the whole.
Probably get a better product too.
And just like you
Probably.
said, the Part F grant monies can be tracked separately, even though
Correct.
it'll all be one scope. We can still track it, so we'll be compliant.
So you
That's
would
correct.
necessarily, you would potentially have one contractor doing the building and the playground.
That's correct, and
Is that always a good thing? I mean, there are people who are specifically
I would think. they
really
would
good at building playgrounds,
sublet that
and
part
then
of it.
somebody else who's really good at building buildings.
right.
I think we got one problem here. I know nobody's gonna listen to anything I say. You got all this equipment down there. Go back to Lori Bass's lost up mess over there. We got a backhoe in the dump truck and we had to contract it out. I mean, if we don't need this crappy equipment, you don't use it, why are you gonna spend $500,000 to build a shed to put it in, or $1 million? Why can't you cut it in half? I know what I say doesn't make a thing. Another thing, I don't see anybody come along making a donation like at these other parks. People came along, got a $500,000 donation here and there. I don't see in the public here, oh my God, let's get this park going. So God bless you.
Robbie and I are gonna take care of that.
When we gonna go look at this?
Going back to Debbie's question about some people do parks better, that's a great point. Is it possible, and when you guys, have you done it in the past, one person, Joe's construction company, gets it all, is he allowed to subcontract that out to a specific park?
Sure he would.
That is correct, yes. And that would be the answer that I would have to that concern or that question is typically a general contractor will be overseeing all of it, and they would probably have subcontractors do landscape work, some playground work. Sometimes you could even have a direct contract with the playground installation company, and that you might be able to save some markup by doing it that way. So we'll look at all those options for you so that you get the best for the money that you have to spend.
Going back to the park grant, once that park grant's used, can you apply for another one?
Yes, actually, there's Land and Water Conservation Fund grant cycle, which is coming up in November, and you can actually use some of the funds that you've already committed to count as matching
Yeah.
for that grant. And that grant actually used to be for $500,000, but in this year, legislature has increased that up to $750,000. So there are some legitimate advantages of rolling the dice, so to speak.
How far along do you have to be to apply for another one?
We can apply for it right now, but the deadline is in November, so we'll have to wait until then. But that's a really good point, and we'll discuss that with the city manager and with the Parks and Recreation director and see if that's something that you would want to try to do. I would recommend it because
Yeah.
you already won for part of,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of momentum there.
There's free money out there.
Yeah.
There's free money out there. We need to pursue it.
Are they always,
And note that it requires a match.
I was about to ask
Yeah.
that question, is it always matching? Are there any grants? that are-
Sometimes what John is saying, you can match the Part F to the LWCF. It does, we are doing it on another project in Lowell, North Carolina. It does create some restrictions in terms of how much flexibility you have. And so if you change one, you're changing both. And then they can hold payment if you're amending your, contracts with them. So it's just something to be aware of. In terms of a second Part F grant, that's more tricky because you got this Part F grant by having this attractive park hitting all these points. You've got, new bathrooms, new shelter, walking trails, you get points for all of these. If you were to try and go for another Part F grant, you've got less stuff in your master plan that you can say, oh, we're gonna do this, this, and this. So I think John's saying maybe pivot to a different grant. Where you
Yeah.
could maybe match them against.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Well, we already know the pickleball was not included in the original part of grant application, so we could certainly go after the pickleball facility, make sure that it's lighted, which adds another probably $100,000 to the cost of it. We could add the basketball court, and then we could add a lot of trails. So, there's a lot of things that could go into a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant application.
Trails would be,
Yeah, part two, right.
a lot of the trails are existing, but just,
Yeah, and they need to be accessible too, so we would need to formalize them. And there'll be a lot of bridges, because we'll need to, go over the creek.
The
Not-
part, so the part of grant was only for the trails that are within that area that we're looking at right now, right?
Correct. I wouldn't
So
really
if
call
we-
them trails, more walkways.
Walkways,
Right, mhm,
okay.
yeah,
So if we were to go for another grant, that would incorporate the other trails that we would like to put in.
exactly.
Okay.
again, main focus of tonight is to combine the projects, Center City Park budget amendments.
Correct.
You got a part for the drug dealers, that's what everybody tells me.
Mhm.
Need to fix your part down there for the drug dealers.
Well, thank you for your questions. Hopefully,
Thank y'all.
we answered you well. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Next on the agenda is,
We're going to make a motion
We need to make a motion.
yeah.
don't we?
gonna make a motion for what?
I'll make a motion to combine the projects together. I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right, got a motion and a second. Welborn made it and Walker seconded it. All in favor? All opposed? One opposed. I think that's a good thing, because a lot of projects are done that way, and if we can get some more money on the side to build a pickleball and this other stuff, why? And then we got our marketing people out that's gonna go looking for some money, so we'll be in fine shape when they get to the end of this.
I appreciate the presentation. I was a little,
Next on the agenda is,
See,
renaming the City Hall Reserve Fund to the General Capital Reserve Fund. There she is. Thank you, Crystal.
Okay, the Finance Department has reviewed all of the funds that we have currently active in this accounting system for the city. And we came across the City Hall Reserve Fund, and it would be beneficial for City Council to rename that to the General Capital Reserve Fund. So it acts a little different to where the City Hall Reserve Fund was just for any kind of improvements or rebuild of a city hall. When you change it over to the General Capital Reserve Fund, what it does is it opens up that perspective broader to where we're able to replace generators or redo parking lots, so to be used for that purpose.
More flexibility.
That is correct. And it would be structured according to North Carolina General Statute 159-18. And what you have this evening is Resolution 26-05.
Crystal, I have a question on that.
Yes.
Is that the one where it says that we can contribute up to 20%?
That is correct.
Is that 20% a state mandated amount?
No,
limit?
it's not. It's not state mandated.
If we wanted to make it 50%, we could. No, just kidding.
Oh,
Just kidding.
it's just up to
But that
20%.
20% is just an arbitrary number.
Yes, that is correct.
So what happens if we had a really good year and we had a lot of excess and we wanted to put more than 20% in there? Would we have to change the amendment or change the,
No, you wouldn't have to change it or anything. You would just state that you would like to increase it for that particular fiscal year.
Any other questions for Crystal?
Crystal, is there a certain amount that's dedicated just to City Hall Reserve Fund, or now it's all going in one big pool?
It's just going in one big pool right now because we only have the City Hall Reserve Fund. So once you change it, then the rules that go along with this resolution will take effect. So as of right now, there's nothing going into it as of right now.
That's because the reason that we had this reserve fund was for a future City Hall renovation, is that right? So it's not
Yes.
gonna complicate that matter, is it? Because, you know, we need to get that sooner than later, those funds.
It won't complicate anything because your city hall is a public building, so it's within your general fund. So any kind of revenue that we will transfer over to there after the fiscal year ends, then we're able to use it for whatever y'all would like to use it for. We just have to go through the procedure to have the resolution drawn back up to see exactly what projects you want to pull from out of there.
All right, any other questions? I'll take a motion to approve moving the funds to the general capital reserve. I have a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion. To rename.
I'll second it.
rename it.
Barry?
I'll second it, yes, sir.
All right. You got that? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you there, Crystal.
We need to vote.
Oh, yeah. Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Did you vote, Walker?
I did.
I didn't see your hand go. Okay. I'm glad you're the pro Tim. All right, next on the agenda is, do we want to have a meeting in July, or do we want to skip it till the next month?
And the reason why staff put this on here too is because we're approving the budget on June 22nd, so we got that time frame. So we got 2 meetings in June. So it's up to the council how they want to move on that.
And we move in August up to,
That'll be on the next one on the agenda.
We're gonna have an event on the 17th of July, so,
No, it's the 22nd.
in June, we're gonna have, meetings, and then we're gonna have a 250th celebration, on July 17th.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I know that's not an official meeting, but that'll be something happening. And then we'll have August 3rd. So, doing away with the 13th makes sense, since everything is kind of overlapping anyway, since.
Well, we don't usually
Vacation
have a
in there
meeting in
somewhere.
July unless we,
Yeah, so,
so I'll take a motion to not have a meeting in July.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we do not have a meeting on July 13th,
A
2026.
second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, next on the thing is August 10th. I think we're supposed to have the meeting at a different date, but the city manager is got to go to a conference that is required to keep his certificates. And so we'd like to move the meeting in August to the 10th from the original date.
So, yeah, so this is for my certified zoning officer certification. And as far as that goes, I mean, if it's all right with the council, we can move that from August 3rd or August 10th to August 3rd. And just have the city council meeting a week earlier.
yeah, I'm fine. I make a motion, we move it from August 10th, 2026 to August 3rd.
You got a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, thank you kindly. All right, next, we're going to have a public hearing on the economical development plan for 26, 27. And who is that? Is that you, Mike?
Yeah, as far as, we'd be having the public hearing for the budget, yeah.
Do we have something to explain to the council?
Yeah, I'll. So this is just basically to open up the public hearing for the budget. If there's any questions for it, we have the copies of the budget at the office currently right now. So it's just basically a straightforward kind of thing, so.
You talking about budget or the economical?
Both of them. So the economic development, it follows with that, follows in suit with the annual budget hearing. So the economic hearing for the proposed fiscal year 2026, 2027, and then the actual annual budget. And that's for anybody that wants to come up and talk about it.
Okay. All right, we're going to open up the public hearing for the economical development for 26, 27, and also for the 26-27 annual budget. If anybody would like to come up and speak about it, come and state your name and your address. We'll say those that are for it. Hear none, anyone that want to be, to speak against it, come state your name and your address. Hear no for or against, so close the public hearing. Okay. All right, moves closed session to the bottom. Okay.
Yep.
So, okay, Mr. City Manager, you got your staff reports.
All right. So go ahead and go to the first slide. All right, so what we have up first is the Strategic Government Affairs Update, SGA. So late March, we went and met with the city's congressional delegation and USDA Deputy Undersecretary of Rural Development, Neil Robbins. On the Hill, Senator Tillis' lead appropriation staffer told us, okay, appreciate it. Staffer told us that he commended the city for investing in the infrastructure required to support a growing population and acknowledged that wastewater is the most expensive of development and that he looks forward to reviewing the Trinity fiscal year 27 appropriation submission. I like everything you're doing, he said. Next slide. Oh. All right, so then basically the analysis of it, Senator Tillis' subsequent May 2027 appropriations request disclosure showed that he did not request the city sewer project. This is understandable, and other localities had their respective projects in the queue ahead of Trinity's. Next year, a senator-elect will most certainly make appropriations requests, and SGA will ensure that Trinity is one of his new staff's first legislative meetings, bringing the city officials to his temporary offices in the basement of the Russell Senate Office Building. All the delegation offices offered to support grant applications to the city submits to executive branch departments and agencies. And these are Senator Budd and Representative Hudson. Both Budd and Hudson both focus on military-related appropriations, but express full support and offered to help the city out in any way that they can. Our meeting with USDA Deputy Robbins was very helpful. Being from Randolph County, Secretary Robbins was more than familiar with the Trinity area. He counseled the city on strategies for applying for the rural development financial support, like submitting well ahead of when the city will need the agency financial support, and to consider applying for feasibility study ahead of the construction request. And Deputy Robbins stated that they're relatively easy to get and could make the subsequent construction request more attractive. As the department lead for all rural development programs, Secretary Robbins is in the tremendous position to ensure that the Trinity USDA rural development application receives every consideration. The city could apply for a grant through the Rural Development Community Facilities Program for its planned public works building, but could also seek a congressionally directed spending item in next year's fiscal year 28 agricultural appropriations legislation. And lastly, Secretary Robbins encouraged Trinity to invite USDA Rural Development Director Robert Hosford to see the city's project sometime soon, adding, "I'll come too if I can." And he offered to connect the city with Director Hosford's office, and SGA looks forward to coordinating with the city on making that invitation whenever appropriate. So that's the basic spill and the breakdown of what we have for the SGA contract. If there's any questions, Council has.
Just need to stay on.
Yes, sir. All right, next we have up on here is the Economic Development Committee. So I think that it would be appropriate to make everybody cohesive as far as what we have going on with projects and like we're doing for the park committee, to have one or two of the council members or mayor to come and be a part of that economic development committee along with others, just to, like I said, be more cohesive in our project. So if council's interested in that, then staff will move forward with that. So if y'all have any questions, or if you all want to consider council member or mayor or anything.
What's your concept on this? Kind of like something that would meet once a month, or?
Yeah, so it'd be like once a month and have just a little 1-hour meeting. Like I said, just to stay to where we're all on the same page as far as, utilities and where we're at. And like I said, it would just help tremendously.
Kind of like a round table meeting, like we do other places. No, we have a committee already put together or semi put together for the park.
Yeah, we do have that. You all voted on that last month. Mhm. So if
Don't
anybody
everybody
wants
speak
to
at once.
volunteer, or anybody want to promote somebody, just let me know.
But we'll let you know.
Let's think about it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure thing. All right, and then next on here, we have this one's frozen, so Darian, if you can, there we go. So we have the budget follow-up on that. Should be good to go on everything on the line items. We spent a long time on this, and we adjusted some stuff at the council's request, and just seeing if there's any further discussion on that, or if we're good to go, because we will be moving towards the approval of that on June the 22nd. So staff needs the direction of the council and which way to go.
On the personnel policy?
The personnel policy is a different item on the agenda.
Is that what we're talking about right now?
This is just strictly the budget itself.
The budgets.
Mm-hmm. The line by line items that we had. So we have a balanced budget too. Our expenditures match the revenues.
I thought we pretty well had the budget done.
So moving towards 22nd then. All right, good to go.
Quiet bunch tonight.
Do what now?
We're a quiet bunch tonight.
All right, so personnel policy, the bereavement, that's next on the list. So we discussed that at the last meeting. The employees granted up to 3 paid bereavement leave days upon the death of an immediate family member. It must be taken within a reasonable period following the death and may be used for attending funeral services, making arrangements, or addressing matters related to the loss. Department heads may require an appropriate documentation to verify the need for leave. Additional leave beyond the 3 paid days may be approved through the use of accrued vacation, sick leave, or unpaid leave in accordance with the city policy. So this is what needed to be added from the previous. This was in the needed to be added into the personnel policy, and that was what was missing, the bereavement.
That's about what everybody does anyway.
It's the normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Standard
protocol.
These other pages that we have examples,
Mm-hmm.
the personnel policy. Are we going to vote on those tonight or?
Yeah, so staff's gonna need direction on that,
Okay.
because that's what was directed from city council to look at.
So the question I have on all of these, they all say, note, bonus checks will not replace longevity pay benefit, only as an addition if approved by the Trinity City Council during the budget process. So all of these, it doesn't matter what council has the final say
Yeah,
on all of those anyway.
yeah, as far as
From
this
year
goes,
to
this is
year, it
what
could
you
be
all are
different.
picking for the examples of
So
that.
from year to year, it could be
This
different.
is changing what was the error that was in the personnel policy
Right,
before.
the wording?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
And so if you all have that document in front of you, and there's some examples on there in order to move employees in accordance with.
So what we're looking at is the bereavement policy as well, or leave, as well as the COLA merit thing too?
Yeah, for the bereavement, that was what was, it wasn't added in there before, so that was
left it
just
out.
they left it out. Yeah, now what we're looking at now is the personnel policy for the employee pay structure. So that would be starting the following with we have the example 1, example 2, 3, and 4. So you've got, for 1, the COLA merit and career ladder. 2, you have a COLA and career ladder. 3, COLA and merit, and then 4, you have COLA, cost of living adjustment.
Well, I don't have a vote, but I prefer number 3.
What's number 3?
So that would be COLA and merit.
So in 3, when they get a COLA, then they may get a merit.
The cost of living adjustment is not technically, like I was stating, is not technically considered a raise. It's keeping up with the economy.
Right. No, I understand that. I understand that. I'm just
and-
trying to distinguish between the two.
And then the merit would go, like, say, for instance, whenever I go to review my employees on a yearly basis, then if they have a good review, then they get the merit increase.
Merit's up to
Right.
3%.
But then they also get a longevity bonus at the end of the year. Right?
Yes.
Well, we originally, for the last 3 or 4 years, the COLA was based on what the Social Security.
That's it.
2528, that's
Mhm.
a good standard policy. And the other meetings that I go to, they basically done the same thing.
That's exactly it.
And so you can't expect me to work harder if I'm just gonna get my 3 cent, my 3%. There's no incentive for me to get more education, to walk up the ladder, to really put the full thing in. I'm just like everybody else, I'm getting my 3 cent, and
Well, that's the career ladder move, right?
And that's what I have right here too.
Career
You
ladder,
all
that's an
have a
additional-
copy of this pay scale, and it shows the years. So it's directly laid out. And this is what they would be starting out at. Now, say for instance, they got a certificate, then it would move down the line item. But it shows you year by year of what you have in here, and this is the 2.5 that council directed, that is built into this pay scale that you all have.
Ain't nobody gonna leave Trinity. You ain't gotta worry about that.
so you've added 3% into the 33,375 minimum on 13.
This was it's 2.5.
Yeah, okay.
And then I need council's direction as far as, because we had discussed the 5% for the merit. I need council's direction on what we would be talking about for the merit rate.
We need to put the scale in there, 1 to 5 or 1 to 4 or whatever the council wants to do. That's the way I've always had mine done in corporate business.
I think that.
That's
I
what
think
we
that
talked
have to,
about, to make that 3, 1 to 3.
I think each year is gonna be different, the way I look at it,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we gotta see what kind of funds we have. What availability do we have for longevity, for merit? Most cities, it's not guaranteed. It's, once you see what your budget is, then you can say, okay, up to a certain percent, once you give the eval on it and they exceed expectations, you know.
That's why the wording in the policy needs to be, they may get, based on what the council approves for
It's
that
just
year.
subject to the availability of the funding that we have at that certain time.
I don't know how government does it. Most people give the boss a place from 1 to 5% or whatever the.
Because I don't know where to.
wants.
Right, right.
And then he decides if I get 1 or if I done real good and went to school, I get
I think
3.
it works that way in businesses pretty much so, but I think in government, you have to wait and see what money you have.
Well,
And that's in the projections whenever you
Yeah,
do
I
the
mean-
budget
Right.
process.
Right.
You could
And-
be like the county. The county gave 2% because they ain't
That's-
got no money because they equalized the rate.
Yeah.
When the property was, and so
That's
they're.
what he was stating this morning. He said, I'd love to give a little bit more, but this is what was in the budget for this year. Now, I just need a direction of, which way that we would go, you know, as far as the merit or the career ladder, whichever way.
Well, you know, you wanted to compare us to Artsdale the other week, so you could get 100% raise. Well, get their salaries. We're paying the same,
Now, who was the 100% raise? Because
I don't care, but that's what they used was Artsdale.
okay, yeah, that was the
Okay, so
comparison for
you-
the governing body.
Well, right, but you want
They're-
to jump,
they're
you wanna
similar. We're-
jump back and forth from one thing to the other. You go over here and see Artsdale, we're paying as much as Artsdale, and I think we got 6 employees and they got 100.
And they also have a police department and a fire department
Yes,
too. So,
yes.
you know, that takes up a big chunk of the budget as well. And then the reason why the governing body, they hadn't gotten a, you know, an increase ever. So it was comparison of the city of Archdale, because something that's similar in size and,
Population.
location.
Well, I go around some of these businesses. Burroughs, one good example. I know the finance director. She's 83 years old, has 192 employees. She does their 401, she does all their paperwork, one person for 192. And when I told her what we paid, her jaw dropped. Everybody thinks we're a bunch of losers anyway, so just keep on being a loser.
You may not know the answer to this, but what was the increase for health insurance that we're paying from last year to this year? And again, you may not have that number directly on hand, but I know we pay for it completely, so.
I've actually got that, and I've got all surrounding municipalities and what they pay and everything too, and I have all those documents that I could provide the council with that if they requested.
Everybody got.
It's got the vision, it's got the healthcare and all that, and that's a main pillar of government. It's the reason why a lot of people get into government work is because of the retirement and the insurance.
Exactly right.
So-
You can go work for the post office 20 years and live like a king the rest of your life. That's why the post office is broke, and that's why Trinity taxes are going up.
Well, that's why the government pays lower, and then the private sector a lot of times pays higher, because that's an incentive to have people working for the government,
I know people who,
and that's everywhere.
All right, so what we need to tell
Michael?
you, example 1, 2, 3, 4.
There isn't an increase in the insurance. It's the
Flat.
same.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's flat.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
What do you need out of this example 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Yeah, just a direction in which I can base the scale on, just so we can keep moving forward.
I like merit. It's just me, but I mean, that's what I'm used to is
Well, that's the
merit.
reason I done 3, because you got both.
Yeah.
If you do a good job, then you get another penny.
We do
I think 3 is good.
we do a cost of living, and I'm not trying to compare like healthcare to, but I mean, there's always that, but then also a merit that we give to.
Mm-hmm.
It's only fair to the guy that's busting his butt.
Yeah.
So, three.
it'd be nice to try to outsource some of this stuff and see where you get there, but no, you don't want to try that. That'd be too cheap. You'd
We'd
say
like
that-
to control our job of what's going on, Ed.
Why? I mean, other people outsource their things.
We actually outsource
Wait a minute, I'm
the-
talking.
Excuse me, yeah.
Wait a minute, no.
Please show him some respect.
He interrupted me.
No, he started talking
Shut
before
up.
you did. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and take that from you.
Well, you don't have to.
You speak whenever it's time for you to speak.
Go ahead and make your point. Make your point.
I'll make your point. Like this equipment down here, we've had it for years, has no hours on it. Back in 2014, we bought a used dump truck, which was a great deal because we don't use stuff. Bought a new Kubota lawnmower, it's still, we got that new backhoe down in 2014. You don't use the stuff. If you don't use stuff, contract it out. You can look right at the pictures up there at Lori Bass's job. Why do we have to call outsiders when we have our own backhoe and dump truck?
So, let me get this straight. If you're wanting us to contract it out, but then you're saying that we don't use the equipment, which way would you like for us to go, Mr. Lore?
Take bids. It's pretty simple. Back in 2014, old Lime Debbie Henson, she went crying to the bathroom because she opened the bids. We took bids on mowing the grass. She opened the bids. The low bid was 13,000, next was 23, next was 30. She said, oh, we can do it for 10. You can't even pay the benefit package for 10, let alone buy all the equipment. But, you know, I've seen if you don't use something, it don't make sense to buy it. Outsource it. You got plenty of people with backhoes running around here. But I know anything I say doesn't matter, so y'all can go buy you some new equipment.
All right, so are you done?
Yes.
Okay,
Are you
thank
happy?
you. All right, guys, we need to decide on which one of these COLAs we want to give the boss for directions.
I'll make a recommendation that we do example 3.
I second.
Got a second? Yeah. I got a second from Paul, first from Debbie. All in favor? All opposed? Got one opposed.
Thank you all.
Now, do we need to make a decision on the percentages for the
Yeah, I do need a direction on that.
direction on that?
Mhm.
So right now, it's 1 to 5,
It's, 5's built into the, yeah.
the limit.
But just because it's built into there doesn't mean that, we're gonna use the
I
5. It's,
understand that, I
You
understand.
know,
The merit is 3%. So what-
Well, I think the
I
boss
like-
can
I like
use his,
three.
I mean, if we got the money, I think the boss can use his judgment on what we need to give it. People, if they're not working, give them nothing.
Well, our longevity is like 4% for the
Oh, yeah.
maximum, so
I'd
our
like to get-
longevity is higher than a
I'd like to
lot
hit
of,
on that
lot
one
of
myself.
places. Our longevity is higher percentage, isn't it, than, well, I know it's higher than Lexington. I don't know about Archdale. But looking at other cities around here.
Okay, boss.
So can
Are you
we,
done, Debbie?
well, we have to give him a decision whether we want that merit to be 3 or 5.
I would just give him a thing between 0 and 5 for the merit race.
What do you currently have, Mike?
Currently, we have this is the ladder, and if I'll lean on Crystal with any detailed information of what we have and how they stair step it. But anyway, we have the current ladder, it's, moves down whenever you have like, say, for instance, somebody gets a certification and all that, but the current level for percentage-wise, it's just what is the percentage?
There is, there's a 2.5% already built in there
Okay.
the COLAs of this fiscal year. And what happens is if someone receives a certification, what it does is bump that individual down in the chart. It doesn't move the whole position, but it moves that person individually because they have their own individual plan.
So it moves them
But
down
what
the
is the
chart.
increase, is there an increased percentage when you move from one position to the next?
5% is high enough for someone to move down.
Okay.
In other words, on the
Okay.
chart.
So if they do a career ladder move, they gain 5%.
And I'm thinking about something that was brought up also. So you said 5% merit, but one of the things to look at, I know this year with the budget, it's good. I know we have some big things coming up as far as buildings and so forth. Us personally in healthcare, we were set to get 5 and we were capped at 2 because it's just been a tough year.
Mhm.
So some verbiage in there, if the funds are available, then a full merit will be given, I think that's to say. And I'm just, again, thinking ahead of some of the projects we listed tonight with, not saying the merit's not going to be there, but I'm just saying if we have the funds, that's what
Mhm. Yeah,
the funds are
it's
available.
understandable.
That we approve that, and I'm looking at other examples.
Well, we certainly ain't
So
gonna
we,
be,
so we,
hopefully like.
so you saying
county,
5%, leave it at 5%?
Yeah.
And
well,
change the wording?
And each budget year approved by the
Approved
council.
by the council.
Yeah. That way it's not just something automatic, but I mean, that
Mhm.
would be. what
That's
we'd say. I mean,
understandable,
that 5%,
because you're reviewing it.
have to make sure our funds are there. That's the
Mhm.
only thing.
Well, just put that in the writing, provided available revenues there or funds.
Yeah,
Subject to
by council
availability
or-
of funds.
because you all obviously review the budget every year.
Well,
anyways.
we're gonna do the budget, or whoever's here is gonna do the budget, so they can make adjustments as they go.
And Lord willing, we'll have all the grants and things will work well.
Right, yeah.
So Crystal, is it normal for, like, when we do the budget is it normal for us to adjust the personnel policy for those things, those type of items? Every year? Mhm.
I mean, y'all can adjust it whenever you like, but I mean, normally when it's adopted, it's normally, you know, 6 to 7 years before it's changed, but it's completely up to the council when they want to change it.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we'll cover it, whatever it is. I mean, we got a bad year like the dummies at Randolph County, well, we'll just have to eat it.
There ain't no way we should have a bad year with all these new rooftops.
Oh, yeah. All right, you ready for the next one, boss?
Michael,
Yeah,
the pay plan, they have to approve that.
yeah, yep. So the pay plan, what we have here, the scale, then you folks would need to approve that.
Okay. We have a scale
what we-
between 0 and 5.
0 and
So
5,
that scale covers the
Merit.
merit.
yeah, merit.
Okay.
Now, it's already got the COLA in it,
Yeah.
Got the COLA in it.
yeah.
Okay.
Is this covering longevity?
No, longevity is not in here.
Separate bonus. So basically, this gives a COLA at 2.5% every year?
No, whenever it's needed, whenever the COLA is needed. Now, if they have a year that they don't do COLA, then obviously we wouldn't,
Okay,
be requesting
So
that.
explain this to me. Let's say, you know, public services tech. Year 1 is 44,254. Year 2, if there's not a COLA, do they still bump up to 45,893?
Said, year 2, yeah, 45,893. So this would be the career ladder approach.
Okay,
So-
so these are the career ladder numbers.
Mm-hmm. But this has the 2.5%. So, and I'll lean on Crystal with any kind
So
of,
the 2.5% is already in the minimum.
it's in here, yeah. It's built into the scale.
It's going to keep it, basically keeps it up with every municipality surrounding us. So as the years go on, there's roughly about 2% in each individual year span. So for some odd reason, if there wasn't a COLA that particular fiscal year that we're in, we could actually stay where we're at.
So in other words, if there's not a COLA and we choose not to give a COLA raise, we choose not to do that, okay? Council chooses not to. Their income is still gonna increase.
No, not
On
if
this,
there's not a
according to this
COLA in
chart.
there, no. Because as long as we're keeping up with the chart as the COLA is moving, from fiscal year to fiscal year, then everybody will stay competitive with all the other, salaries surrounding us. But if there isn't a COLA, then we don't have to move, and that's completely up to city council if they choose to do that or not.
So these aren't set in stone, these numbers.
No, it's not set in stone. Y'all can actually change it anytime you want to
I'm just,
during the budget process.
right. Right.
Debbie, you just tell the accountant what you want the numbers to be.
No, what I'm saying is, do we go by this chart and then we add to it longevity and if we get a COLA raise and if we,
You will add your longevity on there, that is correct.
and you would add a career ladder move if that happens.
If that happens, then that individual will bump down to the next grade.
Right. Okay.
Does that make
But
sense?
this is basically a COLA raise at 2% every year,
It's built in there.
built in.
That is
Okay.
correct.
So when we give a COLA raise, it's not on top of this.
No, not naturally speaking, because really historically, it's not like they've done anything over, they did during COVID, of course, but historically, it's roughly about 3% at the most.
If we choose not to give a COLA raise, it's still in here. So what I'm saying is, if we choose not to give a COLA raise in year 3, just,
That would put the scale behind.
that would change this, right? So
It
when we
w-
adopt this, it's not the numbers that are going to be, no matter what we do.
Yeah, this would be for the fiscal year, but you all would review it at the next budget year.
Okay, I got it.
So they're gonna get COLA, and then we're gonna have a chart from 0 for doing nothing like you got there and not fired, up to 5, and the city manager determine that when he reviews my thing once a year.
The annual performance
Annual
review.
performance.
Mhm.
So is that agreeable? If somebody make that motion, we can move on.
I make a motion that we adopt this and so we're also including, example 3, right? And as well, so COLA, merit, and then the scale.
Well, the clear letter, we're not talking about that, just,
Okay.
No, this right here, this document, the scale.
yeah.
This is what we have in here. The COLA's already in here, and
Okay.
that's the up to 5%.
Okay. So
This is what you all will be adopting
right.
for now.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I got a motion from, Welborn,
I'll second.
second from Debbie. All in favor? All opposed?
You're missing one too.
Yeah, we'll have to wait.
Oh, it has the toilet lid.
Where did it go?
So, well,
Longevity in here anywhere? We adjusting the longevity or we set with it?
The longevity's not in this scale.
that's in addition to, yeah.
Oh.
Longevity's in the
set.
personnel
Too.
policy.
Yeah, it's the personnel policy.
Other discussion.
Any discussion? Putting you on the spot.
I mean, it's just, there again, I'm gonna go back to where I'm currently employed at. I mean, everything is froze for this budget year. I mean, no certifications will be paid for, you know. I think we just have to be careful how much we approve in case we do have a bad economic year.
The verbiage.
To give a little bit of history, though, didn't the longevity, didn't that used to be the Christmas bonus?
Yeah.
Okay, and we changed it to longevity. Okay.
So adding the verbiage in there.
So the reason that it starts at 1 is so that
on
everyone got a
funds
bonus.
being available.
Yeah, I think that has to be in there depending on what we have available.
But can you vote for that as long as funds available?
Change the wording on it?
Excuse me, the longevity only starts after an employee's been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I'm talking
does.
about the
Yes, it doesn't
percentages
start
of the
until after they're
longevity,
here for
though.
3 years.
Because we did change that.
Yes.
What is it exactly right now, Crystal? What did we change
Let me
it to?
pull it up.
1 to 3 is 1%, 4 to 7 is 2.
No, we changed that. I think we did change that, didn't
I'm
we?
gonna have to log in.
Starts at 3 years.
Starts at 3.
Starts at 3 years.
I think
Yeah,
it's
1
3
to
to
3
10 and then 10 to.
1 to 3 is 0. Isn't
After
it
4
3?
to 7 is 2, right?
I want to make sure I'm
That was
giving
the way it
correct
used to be. We changed that.
One to 3 was 1, and 4 to 7 was 2, 8 to 10 was 3, and 11 plus was 4.
That's what it used to be. We changed that.
Is that what we changed? What did we change it to?
I've gotten here for it should be under page 35, and it's, have 1% at 3 years, 4 to 10 years is 2%, and 11 plus years, where it stops is 3%.
So at 3 years, it's 1%.
1%. Mhm.
At 4 to
4 to 10 years is 2%,
2%.
and 11 plus years is 3%.
Okay.
And that's on page 35 of the current personnel policy for
And
longevity.
is that the
So that's
letter?
what we
Got an old
changed it
copy
to.
of it.
This is it right here.
That's because we changed that.
So what's our
We're good.
decision? We have to give the boss a guideline of how to do number 3.
We already did that.
Well, we said we was gonna give them a
The
chart of
recommendation.
0, and you ain't been canned, to 5 for the merit, and they get the COLA we've already said.
Right, and I said I recommended that we do number 3.
Yeah, we done voted on that.
We voted on that. So what
We
else?
gotta
is-
tell him how to perform, how to make it work. He's gotta know what the range is on the merits. The COLA's already set.
Currently, they moved forward with
Vote
the,
on it. You voted on it, you had a split vote. Ed wasn't here.
Well, we ain't voted on that. We voted to do number 3. Now we're trying to tell him how to make it work.
Oh, you had a suggestion for number 3. You ain't had a vote yet. Right, Darren?
So do I need to
You
make,
just got a suggestion for number 3. You've had no vote. The only vote you tried to have, Ed wasn't here, and it was split.
We wasn't voting on 3. We were voting on
We
the,
ain't even come to number 3 yet, though. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. We hadn't had a vote yet. That was suggested. Debbie suggested we go with number 3.
we didn't have a vote on 3, Darren?
No. No, we've come to no,
all right, could I make a motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion that we use number 3 example
I
in the
thought Paul
personnel
seconded
policy.
it.
he did.
Hmm?
He did. He seconded. You said all in favor, and Paul and Debbie voted for it. You said all opposed, and me and Barry voted against it.
And Jack was, and,
But Ed wasn't in here.
Ed wasn't in here.
All right, well, let's start over.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we use example number 3, that as long as, and change the wording so that as long as the funds are available, we do 5% for the maximum merit.
Okay, all
Else, and leave the longevity the way it is.
right, you heard the motion.
And I think that verbiage will be helpful.
That's what we talked about before. We
Yeah.
didn't vote because Ed was gone.
Yeah.
But isn't this reviewable every year in the budget?
Yes.
I mean, so why are we even voting on it?
Do what now?
Vote for it for this year.
Oh, for this year?
Yeah.
Thought we'd already went through all that before.
Well, you gotta have it, I mean, unless you're
Oh,
gonna
we
take,
went through that
unless
one
you're
when
gonna
we
bring
talked
this
about the
up every
COLA.
year. Yeah, I mean, the staff ain't gonna wanna change the book every time.
No, I understand that. I just thought it was reviewable every year, though.
Yeah, we get reviewed every year. Anyway, I got a motion for number 3, maximum merit up to 5. I got a motion. Have I got a second?
Second.
I got a second, Paul. Any more discussion before we ask for a vote? All in favor for joint number 3 and the merit top by 5 on a yearly annual review?
okay, so as it stands right now, I can't. Are we at the 2.5 COLA, or are we, for
We
the,
got
Well, we've already done the
to make
COLA.
another motion so we can vote on it.
But we voted on the 2.5 COLA last time.
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
COLA's
Why do we need
done.
to- Why do we need to do that again?
No,
We're
but
just,
we're
we're
changing
just
the
covering how to
word.
operate number 3. He's gotta know how to do the merit. COLA's already been settled. Once again, I got a motion and a second. All in favor? Well, how you gonna operate the system in?
Well, then somebody else is going to have an amended emotion, another motion that's different. Because he's
I
got to
would
have
su-
something to get, some kind of guidelines.
I would suggest maybe that we hold the merit raises for this budget year. My suggestion, COLA. Already agreed on.
Can we compromise and make it 3%?
Define merit.
It's performance, and it's what keeps your employees retained. It gives employees, it gives employees incentive to get certifications, to have a good performance review, in order to, you know, really be able to retain your staff and good qualified performing staff. And you want to be able to have even that, just that little increment that they have, because if you're going, you know, say for instance, they, you know, go somewhere else or whatever, then
Yeah.
you'll pay twice as much to be able to get
I
somebody
don't have a
else.
I don't have a problem with like what Darian done, you know, went to school, got her certificate, worked hard for it. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is you calling them employees in at the end of the year and, oh, you done a good job, we'll give you 5% raise on the taxpayers.
But we
I don't
gonna give
know,
'em
I don't,
five.
like, I'm like Ed, I don't know any other job other than the government. My guy, when I run a business for 37 years, I mean, we never got a COLA. We were at the hands of an insurance company, and if anything, we might get $1 or $2 every 2 to 3 years. And that's
So,
per hour.
yeah.
Well, see,
So
what-
I don't understand. I mean,
Different.
I just think there could be it's such a small environment. And like I said, I'm not saying it's not a hard job. It could be a lot harder. There's going to be more and more residents. But I just don't see that,
see, Robbie, my interpretation of a merit raise is to be able to have something there to give an employee when they have gone over and above
Appreciation, yeah.
beyond.
yeah.
the
But I
job.
think you
You
got
know?
such a small
Not
environment.
something that you
I
get
think you
every
got such
year.
a
but-
small environment, though, you're gonna have some friction there when you give 1 or 2 merit raises and you don't give the other 3.
If he don't do his
That's
job, he
it,
don't
my-
get a merit.
my-
I'm just saying,
as a manager.
it's not like the city of High Point or like Ed said, the city of Archdale where they got 100 employees. John Doe would never know if Sam got a raise, but this office, everybody's gonna know. And I just think it's gonna create some friction if you, and I don't know me personally, I don't think Stevie done a real good job I think he had a hard time. There was so much drama and stuff going on in there, and he claimed he didn't know who to trust and all that stuff. And, we've told you about that, and I think you're handling that well. But, I just think there's a fine line there to, who's going to get the merit and who's not going to get the merit. I don't have a problem, like I said, if Rodney or Jill or somebody goes and gets a certificate or Crystal or whatever, or some of the guys down there. I mean, I don't know if those guys down there, what can they do other than do a good job? They can't go get another certificate, can they? Be a maintenance?
Yeah, there's a,
There is?
there's a
Stormwater,
few, yeah.
stormwater
Okay.
certificates.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I just think, giving a
But that's a
2.5
career-
COLA, then turn around and give a 5% merit.
That's a career ladder move. That's
Yeah.
not the same thing.
Then you're turning, but you're also sitting here looking at a longevity too.
What if we went with a 3%?
Plus, we're paying every bit of their insurance.
Like a 3%.
I just need some,
in the
yeah,
document.
direction for that.
But we get the cost of living, but none of us ever get like the top percentage in healthcare.
Not many people earn the top.
I mean, it's and then again, we were capped this year and got 2%.
How did they determine that 2%?
Well, it ended up being flat because it was capped, but normally there's a process where you're rated, and it's pretty sophisticated.
You're rated individually or as a group or individually?
So what if you say the merit raise is not something that, it should be something that is special? Not something that everybody gets every year or 1 or 2 people get every year, or, that's a special award that goes, if someone goes above and beyond the call of duty, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, the mayor keeps saying.
You give them a little
well,
bonus.
It's encouraging John Doe to do a good job. Well, if that man's gonna come to work and not do a good job every day, he don't need to be working for City of Trinity. You need to fire him.
Well, that's the reason I
Right.
said it. You
No,
get them
no,
zero to
it
five.
should not be based on money. Rodney should not come to work every day and do a good job just because he's gonna get fired. He needs to do a good job every day for the City of Trinity, or he don't need to be here.
I can go
I'm
ahead
just
and-
using him as an example, but you see what I'm saying? It just shouldn't be that. You
Well, I
shouldn't,
can
you know-
go ahead and vouch for them too. I mean, they're hardworking.
Right.
They made sure that I've, gotten adjusted well. They've, been there to answer any question that I have. And they even told me too that, we want to see you succeed. And with a staff that's behind their manager, their boss like that too. And as hard as I see them work every day too, I mean, it would be appreciated to be able to show appreciation for my
So
folks.
what if we make that 3%?
I got
Let's
something.
make it one, make it 0 to 5. If you don't do nothing, I've never given but 2 5s out in 40 years.
But it's a matter of what we allow in the budget,
It's up to 3, so I mean.
up to 3.
Yeah.
What, Ed?
My thing is, the last 4 years, the cost to run this city, best I can figure is $300,000. When you applied for a job, I asked you, this city is small. Years ago, the city manager was the city manager and finance director. I asked if you would maybe help code enforcement, how about say, do assistant finance. I mean, Crystal does a good job. I've heard people saying, hey, for $2,000 a year, you can get the payroll done, perfect. And I just want to find some way to cut this $300,000 raise in 4 years. I just want some accountability. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but the average citizen in Trinity working makes $35,000. It went up household income to 80. So, how do you explain these people out here working all these hard jobs and they got accountability? Trust me, they had to punch that clock and they had to produce.
From that, the census, the most current census.
You asked your smartphone, it went up. I mean, a year ago, it was 57,000. All of a sudden, I can't see how it jumped from 57 to 80. But they said the average citizen out here working is 35,000. They sure don't get no fantastic benefit package. I mean, I don't see where a city is so complicated, because I don't think you ever had to come in on Saturday or Sunday or after 5 o'clock, show me on the paperwork. I mean, this city is not complicated. That's why there's nobody, I mean, I appreciate you that come more than you know. But this place should.
I still go back to, I think it's going to be hard with such a small staff to not reward them all if you do a merit.
As far as that goes, then that would.
I just think, you're going to have a hard time yourself. I'm thinking for you, I think you're going to have a hard time determining, am I going to give them all a merit or am I going to give none of them a merit? Because I don't think you're going to be able to give 1 or 2 of them. Now, if they do the career stuff, that'll be easy. But I'm saying on job performance.
That's part of being a manager, though. Like, you have to bite the bullet on some of that stuff and make tough decisions.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand that. I've been in your shoes as far as that part of it goes. But I never had the luxury of 5%.
As far as I know, Denton, they have a ton of business as one city manager and a finance director. She does it all for around 100,000. So, go figure.
Don't envy you, Michael, because you're in a tough spot. You're fighting like hell for your folks, and you believe in them, and you trust them, and you're trying to make us happy, and you're trying to make them happy too. It's a tough spot to be in. And I appreciate you standing up for your employees.
But we need to make a decision so that he can move forward.
Suggestions, other examples?
Yeah, I like the way it's laid out, and it's a tough decision to make in these economic times when people are expecting us maybe to try to hold the line a little bit.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, boss. I've explained it 3 ways in business, so
Okay.
you want to table it?
I mean, we would have to, I guess, get it done we would have to have this,
Oh, yeah,
approved
you
for
got
the
to, yeah.
pay scale in order to have a budget.
Yeah.
Tell you guys, I worked for 62 years at Public Work. I've never worked at a place that I didn't get a COLA and I wasn't eligible for a merit raise. Every city this year gave a COLA of 3 or 4%, and they're all entitled to a merit raise based on a scale of 0 to whatever the scale is.
Right.
Everybody that's in the government work is that.
All I can say is you never was in the collision business.
Do what, Robbie?
You never was in the collision business.
In the what business?
The auto collision business. It didn't operate like
I mean,
that.
hey, don't get me wrong, I love you.
I have employees. I got a son right now that made almost $5,000 less this year than he made last year.
Because of the insurance?
Just the way the way the economy went.
Oh, okay, because you didn't work as much.
Yeah.
But say you've always worked for a public, the daycare didn't have no merit raise and the daycare didn't have no COLA raise because it was a family business.
In the corporate world, there were always merit raises.
Yeah, corporate world.
Merit
different
raises were always there.
Body shop or daycare or landscaper.
As a
Family
taxpayer,
business
I'd like
don't
to
do
save
that.
some money.
It's just a matter of how much.
So just COLA, example 4.
You've already approved the COLA.
Well, if you don't want to give no merit, just say we're going with the one that says, you're getting nothing but a COLA. We got number 2 is a COLA with a career letter.
Can you make that merit, only on educational certificate? If they do something to,
I don't know if I can
The
box
merit
it
is
in.
supposed to
That-
be
I'm not
based
too
on
sure.
job
Yeah.
performance.
I
That's
thought he
supposed to
said
be,
if they got career ladder stuff too, though.
well, no, that's a separate thing.
That adds
It's a
to the
separate thing.
performance evaluation. That's like in
The
lieu of it.
performance evaluation is based on their job performance. That's what the merit is.
Okay.
All right, well, you guys want to look at number 2, which is a COLA and a career letter, no merit? See, I didn't suggest number 1, which is merit, COLA, and the career letter, because it's too expensive.
But in the number 2, you're also looking at evaluating that scale every 3 years. So every 3 years, we're going to have this big discussion. Well, based on this city and that city, this is what we should be paying them. And
Well, you're going to run the
we're going
scale,
to
I
run
mean,
into that every year, every 3 years.
Piedmont Tri-Council, we done last year, we run a scale. And when we done the budget this year, whatever the certain jobs was, they had to run a scale again and move it up because that particular job went up on the scale, even though they raised it last year. And I don't know, it's because you didn't have no people in that particular end of it, or, I don't know.
I know a lot of my neighbors on Social Security, and they're just getting by.
Well, Ed, they must have not done good planning for their financial future.
They should have worked for the government. Everybody should have worked for the government, sit on their butt the rest of their life.
Well, hey,
I mean, that's what they should have done. Maybe I wasn't that smart.
I wasn't that smart neither, Ed. I worked
Well,
20 hours a day for a lot of days.
Yeah, well, you brag about making $500,000 a year. How can you compare these other poor people around this town?
Michael, any tax increase in the budget?
No.
No, 10 cents tax rate.
Great. I knew the answer to that, but I just want to get that for YouTube and the world.
And that's in my manager's budget message.
I remember when the tax rate was 5%, and I thought everything was doing good till Fran and Ann come along. I mean, you got half the city doesn't get anything, probably 7 square miles. I got a call today from one of them. Been here all these years, we get nothing. All these people need back roads, the hills, they're never gonna get sewer. You got half the citizens getting nothing, I think you ought to consider them too.
Well, what you need to consider is the forefathers that should have done it when they incorporated, and they didn't.
Well, we gotta look after all the taxpayers now.
Well, I
don't care
understand
about
that,
the-
but it's
I don't
not
care about the
feasible now.
forefathers. I met another man this week. He said he fought for this place to become a city. He regrets it because he's never gonna have sewer, never gonna have anything.
That's what we went to, the USDA for, so.
You're never gonna
expanding
be
that.
able to put sewer up and down these hills. It's almost impossible.
Can I make a new motion?
Yeah, we need to move. I mean,
All right.
we got
I
15
will make
more things.
make a new motion. If we use example 3, but we take out the line in the first paragraph that says that the positions will be evaluated every 3 years for market rate changes. Because that in itself is what got us into this position to begin with. When we did the PTRC salary study and
Make it
everybody's pay rates went through, way up.
annually and not wait. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we'll do raises.
that study every 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're saying make it annual
out.
instead of.
let's
instead
take
of-
that out
Yeah.
and we will gauge it
Again, as
ourselves
funds are available and we can.
as
Leave it at
funds
the
are
council's
available.
discretion.
Yeah, yeah,
And make the merit raise 3% cap.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna, if I understand it right, example 3, we're gonna take the 3-year market rate out.
Yes.
We're gonna give a COLA, which is already set. The boss can give a merit raise for whatever the reason is, up to 3%.
Right.
Okay, I can live with that. I think they can live with that.
Second.
I got a second. Welborn. All right, you've heard the motion, so all in favor of the motion? All opposed? One opposed. All right, thank you, guys. I know it's a pain in the tush, but
Thank y'all, and I know that's, it's a lot to go through and everything, but, I appreciate it.
Michael, you did well, standing there in front of us and we were all staring at you and just for about 2.5 hours. That was good.
well, he understands what we gotta have. We just gotta have
Had
an
to do
agreement.
something.
And by the way, thank you for going to DC. That was, you threw that in the thing earlier, the SGA update.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, trying to get with.
Oh, we're working hard. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Help Eric get out of here. Can we circle around?
Yeah, let's
So
go
he
back
doesn't
to
have to
it.
sit here till 9 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm paying him the same, so. What did you find out in our
Well,
legal?
If you
matter?
don't mind, I'll leave my junk up here.
Bids.
One or two, you got two avenues. The, 160.
All right, listen, guys.
The new 160D in North Carolina General Statutes lays out a really convoluted, step-by-step procedural guideline on how you address, before you get to the step of demolition. Everything from sending registered mail to other posting, and that. Eric, I know he doesn't have his file, but I've thought about maybe tabling this thing initially. He's assured me that they've gone through an entire line item by line item and followed the statute. So it's up to the board based on that. He says he's followed all the guidelines. I don't have it here to look at it. But I told him he ought to make a chronological dates, times, that way he have it in his records. And what he's asking is the authority to, the board has to issue an ordinance. He'll have to go post the premises as unfit. The real kicker is, do we know that they got some notice? I remember he mentioned somebody may have been talking to you, Barry. Did they get the notices, to your knowledge, of what they're gonna do? And did they ever come up with any plan?
Yeah, see, I don't know if they received it or not. She's been in a nursing home, so I don't know. Have you been over to, since it's not that far away, for North Fuller Mill, have you been over there?
I have not been over there, but what I do have, board, council, is tracking I have green cards. They received these letters. We post them on the property too.
Anybody sign for it?
Can you make out that signature on there?
Do what?
Can you make out that signature
Well,
on
I'm
there?
not a handwriting expert. So they are signed for.
I mean,
One-
if it was Carrie or if it was Joyce Ann. Remember, because I mean, a neighbor could have signed it or.
Yeah, not off the top of my head, but one was actually picked up. Somebody actually physically went to the post office and picked it up. That's that's going off the tracking. But again, these things, by the statute, by y'all's ordinance that you adopted from the statute. Everything's been
The
done.
only concern for the board is that if the owner was elderly and is in a nursing home or a rest home, that, everybody has notice. When you take it down, bring it back up if there was an error. That's the problem. Once you go to that point, basically like we just had on June 6th, that's D-Day. It's going down.
Well, you do this every week, don't you?
Almost.
So you ought to know, because if it's a mess, it's gonna come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely it will.
So, I mean, he's not gonna stand there and say,
I know, I
It's
talked
ready to go.
We talked outside. We talked outside about that. And
Well-
what you may want to do, if they issue this ordinance, you may want to just review the file that's in Greensboro
Oh, 100%.
and do your chronological. And if you see a misstep, bring it back. Bring it back up here and correct it. I just want to make sure the homeowner and them got notice.
Yeah, and I mean legally.
Eric said
with-
he
with-
got signature cards back.
Yeah, I think he's done everything he can do legally, and according to 160D, that statute, if he's posted the property, that's just like handing it to the owner. But there again, with the extenuating circumstances, her being sick, might play into it. Have you-
I'd send a copy of that notice, went through this board, did you do a notice or ordinance?
Oh, that will be sent.
I'd send that bad boy the same way you've been doing it. one-
Absolutely, it'll be sent.
One regular mail.
Go ahead and do that. I think we should go ahead and do that because it, if everybody's seen it, it needs to come down. But as you're sending that ordinance out, if you could maybe contact the tax department at Randolph County,
Mhm.
see where they are as far as foreclosing on the property.
They'll get one as well. Since there are owed taxes on it, they get the same correspondence that the owners will.
Had it wrote down, and I don't know where on paper is how much was owed, but it was several years back, so I don't know what their criteria is for go ahead and starting their foreclosing.
Mhm.
If they want to foreclose on it and let it be their responsibility, for a new owner. But it sounds like to me you've done, but I would like to see that paperwork, at some point, the chronological order, like Mr. Wilhoy said,
Yeah, I can do that.
look at it. But I trust your judgment. That's what we hired you to do, to do it correctly. And if it was any other kind of structure, I'd be more worried about it, but this structure is,
so what's council's choice? Gonna take it down, you're gonna check with the county or what?
So are you saying we need to hold off?
No,
or we need-
no,
or-
I'm
or
just
we can
saying,
go ahead and do
he's
it?
assured us that he followed all the guidelines. I'm recommending, if you issue the ordinance tonight, which basically says he can take steps to demolish it, he'll have to follow the statute, but I would go back and just double check.
Before you file
And
the
if-
statute?
Before you record that ordinance at the register of deeds, because that's the one, if you see a hiccup, we can correct it. But once you file the thing at ordinance in the register of deeds,
Yeah.
you've gone that far, you don't have to take that thing off record. I mean, it's just, I just double and triple check.
So we need to recommend that it be torn down with the understanding that Eric's going to double check everything,
Outlined in
triple
his
check everything.
guidelines What he had done, and, he put dates and stuff, so months, and, so, I mean, he sure.
I just have
He does it all the time, so.
I asked
Just build off
really
that, what I
pretty good
presented
there.
with y'all.
If he wanted to continue it, do it, he felt like he had dotted all the i's and crossed the t's. I just make sure. the
Well,
folks
we can
get
still
notice.
vote to do it and he don't have to file with the deed if he's
Right.
got a hiccup.
Right.
I'll take a motion to remove the property based on him checking the, what you do before he files it with the register of deeds.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
a second.
I have a second with Walker. Debbie, first, all in favor?
Eric, what's the tax value of that property? You know?
One no.
Oh, you voted for it.
Huh?
You voted for it.
Did you vote for it, Ed? Okay, sorry. I apologize. Okay, Eric.
What was that, Barry?
Tax value of that trailer?
I think it was around 30. I think. Don't hold me to that, though.
Does it have sewer close to it or not?
It does not.
What was the size of the lot again?
Size of the who?
The lot it's on.
The entire lot, I believe it is just under 2 acres. Would the council like to pick the contractor for the demolition?
I'd say the lowest bidder if we can't,
But if Eric
said we wasn't gonna,
if you've dealt with these guys before and you know, it doesn't always have to be the lowest bidder. We'd like the lowest bidder, of course, but
Yeah, I mean, I dealt with all the guys that turned in bids. They're all stand-up
one
contractors.
was
Make
81.
sure they include removing the debris,
Absolutely, yeah,
leaf debris.
that's included.
we'll have code enforcement write you a letter.
Right.
And in the, do they have to sow and seed the property as well when they get through with it,
That's right, it's in the bid
before
system,
you sign off on it?
right.
I was noticing on the one up there beside BP that we had tore down, I guess, before we got on, or right when we did, you know, that foundation, everything's still there.
That was, we didn't have that tore down.
Oil
but,
tank
Owner-
still.
owner did,
yeah.
yeah.
He was given a little motivation, but as far as like the town going through this whole process.
That's
we-
still an outstanding case since the foundation, everything's still there, and the oil tanks and all that.
The
stuff.
foundation would be, if I'm not mistaken, part of the nuisance ordinance, which your guy that's here every week, Dustin, he can go out there and I think he can write it for remains of a structure, and it's a 10-day compliance date.
Eric, is this the Terry Nall property?
Which one?
The one you're talking about right now that has a foundation left? The
One next to the
house
BP
behind it?
station.
Right there at the end of Welborn, to the left of
BP
BP.
station.
Next to the BP station.
Oh, okay.
Buggy house or whatever.
But we've got another foundation that's just left there.
I got you.
Okay, we voted and go, so
All right.
make sure you check all your Ps and Qs before you stick it in that, the register of deeds.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Sorry we held you up. We got all excited up here and forgot you was back there. Okay, boss. I reckon you can go back to it again.
All right, so next we have the Jacob Carroll update. We had our, on May 15th, the Jacob Carroll cleanup took place. I'd like to thank all the who participated, and including council member Ed Lohr. And July 24th is going to be the next cleanup. Next, we have on here the parking issue, and we had a meeting with Sheriff
Hang
Seabolt.
on 1 second, please.
Sure thing.
I talked to Jacob Carroll's mom, both of the cleanup and Memorial Day. I mean, I told her she only know 2 celebrities. She's one of them. Nobody can comprehend what she's been through. She saw the picture of my best friend, and we back and forth. She said she'd get me a picture. I've asked the council before and stuff. I do not have her phone number, but she said she would be tickled to have a picture of her son up on that wall coming in, and she could put the bottom or top of that picture anything she wanted. That woman, best I can understand, may be way off, raised over $400,000. I got to listen to her story, and Jacob's aunt and uncle. Me, that's an honor to know somebody around here, but I think we talked about this several times. I should have got her phone number, but I didn't. But she is outstanding lady. So somebody, staff or somebody should have her phone number, be able to get it. that done for her.
Sure thing, appreciate it. All right. So moving on to further discussion, we had the parking issue and we had a meeting with Sheriff Seabolt. We met with the Sheriff, Major McAdams, and Sergeant Sanders, and planning and Sheriff Seabolt worked together to implement in our ordinances where the Sheriff's Office can issue parking tickets. Staff has created a parking ticket to move forward, and I want to thank staff, Sheriff Seabolt and his staff for the assistance on this. So we're moving right along on that one, thank goodness. All right, land use plan update. We had city council member and staff suggest updating the current land use plan. I would like council's direction on this moving forward, tweaking that. Not necessarily like a full-blown land use plan redo or anything, but just some tweaking. So if you all would like to suggest any ideas or anything, I'd be open to them.
What were some of the ideas that have been suggested already? Just
Some of the recommendations and in the end, it was the end of the what's the word I'm looking for?
Land is normally used for, well, what it is used for is, it's a document that you're required to have by law to, when you're rezoning properties.
Sure.
Okay? And we, in the
Related to the
last-
consistency
in
statement.
the land use plan currently, we have no policies that, for example, we have no policies that support you being able to, let's say, approve a rezoning for industrial development. It's not even mentioned in your plan.
There's quite a few things missing.
So there's some things like that.
So we need it to say, anything that needs to be rezoned or anything needs to be looked at needs to reflect upon the land use plan. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
And it needs to be
We
worded.
always have to, it has to be
Reasonable and
in
consistent.
consistency. Yeah.
Land use
Yeah,
plan.
There has
see,
to be
and I assumed it
consistency.
was, so I always assumed it was, when I talked to folks about it. So we need to make sure what do we need to do to add, verbiage in there just to say, a consistency statement, basically?
Yeah.
Well,
Jill, can you,
just need to add a
It's
few
there.
things, I think.
It's making sure that we have policies that reflect what the city council would like to see in development.
if you look at the end, there's a table. There's tables at the end of the land use plan that have policies based on how we designated the different sections of the city. And those policies need to be tweaked, so
Okay.
to speak.
So we have to hire out engineers to do that, or a company?
Can you do that, Jill?
Yeah.
Can you guys do that?
I think that, it would be beneficial for outside. Jill does have a lot of work on her and whatnot. So I think that,
Carrie do that?
I don't know, I've worked with Carrie quite a bit and whatnot, but I don't want to speak to like her abilities while she's not here.
I'd like the city council, if you decide that you are willing to do that, or you want to do that, that you would at least make sure that there is a planner there in the office to assist with that. We're not
Right.
hiring a whole firm to do that kind of thing.
Right.
That's not what we're looking
It's something we can do in-house with just a little bit of extra help.
Tweak.
Is this something that bring back in August, some of the tweaks? That'd be good?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
When did we adopt the land use plan?
Last
2
year,
years
right?
ago?
2022.
Last year.
three and a half years ago.
Been that long?
Well, and then we
The process was going on.
The process was going on, but didn't,
something last year we did too. where
no, it
we
was 2 years ago.
adopted.
It was in January,
2
wasn't it?
years ago, you approved the land development plan first, then you
Oh, that's
approved
right.
the water management ordinance, and then
Right.
you approved
The zoning ordinance, yeah, the land management,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense
Right.
to add some clarifying language, consistency.
Text amendments.
Yeah, text amendments, for consistency.
Yeah.
And we can review it August 3rd.
Sounds good. Got it.
Especially as the city is growing the way it is, I think we need to make sure we've got all the Ts crossed and Is dotted and
Something must be wrong because we had
keep
no
it
growth.
tight.
Other than houses, we have no business coming to Trinity.
Do we need to make a motion for that or just give you direction?
It would be more formal, I mean, with a motion.
Okay. Well,
So I make a motion that we add text amendment to the land use plan for consistency.
I think you
Bring
need to
back
make that motion
Planning
is to you
period.
review it.
Terry gonna be,
I said you were gonna review it first.
Yeah, review
Yeah.
Yeah,
the,
we need to do.
You need to review it first.
and recommend any adjustments, any
Yeah.
changes that need to be
Adjustment,
made.
Yeah,
continue,
this is for adjustments, okay?
you continuing Ms. Spencer's agreement or contract?
That's what I have on here. Because as far as that goes with the planning and all of the development, stuff like that, it's kicking up. So I know that we discussed, keeping the code enforcement and bumping it up to 3 days. And therefore, that would, it would leave a missing gap. So it would be beneficial to keep, Ms. Spencer on, at least a little bit to help the planning services out.
While we're talking about code enforcement, I had a citizen call me and wonder why they don't have a fence around that detention pond up there on School Road.
Fence on, okay.
They said there's kids running around, there ain't no fence around the pond.
Coming back to the land use plan, do we need to make a motion and then a second or anything like that?
So it would be a review and adjustment, so just it would be a motion for a review and adjustment.
Okay, I make a motion for review and adjustment for the
Okay.
land use plan.
I'll second.
Debbie second, okay. All in favor? Okay.
All right. And then the contract to planning services. So staff wants direction from council to which way to go on that one.
We'd make a separate motion for that.
What kind of money is it involved?
We discussed it in the budget. She's, let's see, 24 hours a week. So we'd have to run.
That's
the-
already in the budget.
Yeah, we would have to run the number. She's in there till the end of this month, I want to say, so,
So she's not in the new budget.
no. Mm-mm.
I think we
And
talked about
correct
taking,
me if I'm wrong, because she's not
we talked
included
about
in the
taking
new
her
budget.
out.
Yeah.
We talked about taking her out,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about putting her back in.
To assist if we're keeping the contracted code enforcement on board. Because we were going to hire a code enforcement officer / planner.
Yeah.
So then that took the aspect of the planning out. So now we would
Now
need to
we
fill
took
in
that
that
away.
missing gap.
Oh, you got
She
this.
worked for Dennis
Yeah.
No, it's separately then. Mhm.
You're probably gonna need her to do.
currently.
Yeah, ordinance writing and assisting with the planning department, and I can really hone in on, or Jill can speak to that as well. But that takes a lot of time, the ordinance writing and all the other stuff. And she even did the parking ticket. She worked hand in hand with Sheriff Seabold on that too. So that was helpful to have her as well for that. And the animal control issue, all of that.
Takes forever because she's looking them up to tie the two together.
Ordinance, right, yeah, it's,
We
and
paying her
amendments
by-
and stuff,
Are
it
we
takes
paying
a
her by
long
the
time.
hour?
Yes. Mhm.
She's a whole lot cheaper than what we was paying MS2.
Against anything the council says, but it was, like I said, that changed.
How many hours are you recommending? Keeping it like it is?
You, the contract with Carrie Spencer.
Second.
I'll second.
Barry second. All in favor? I think it's well money spent because, I may never bother and picking on her. She said, well, I got all.
Still have Another year in the current contract.
Yeah, with the current code and then the IT. The IT is, it was 48 month. So, and that was in 2024. Yep,
So it runs out next year.
June 2027.
We can cancel it in 30 days.
Can we put it out for bids or whatever when
That
it
would be
gets
the
close to
formal,
that?
that would be the formal process.
Okay. I mean, I think that we need to just, with these major contracts like that, I think we need to just check every so many years.
Absolutely.
So we're not doing anything until June 2027?
That's currently how long that contract runs.
Okay.
So it was, that one, the IT was the multi-year.
So before that runs out, start looking around to see what else is out there.
Council's
Do we have like a
direction.
year?
Yeah, I mean, that would be next
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to
discussion.
get bids and.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a year. I mean,
hmm
motion or?
Yeah, that would be great, so I can just
You make a motion
86 this
while
off the list.
Contracts, we've already signed that contract, right?
Yeah,
So it's ongoing. You don't need to approve something you've already approved.
That's what I was kind of wondering, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good till June.
So we don't need to do anything
already
until next
approved.
year.
okay.
I think
Right.
he's got some ideas, but I can tell more about that later.
So when we get ready to do the
Yeah.
budget for next year, then we
Yeah,
put it out for bids.
take a look into it.
Okay.
And, so this one, and that's what we decided on with the, we decided 3 days last meeting, and.
Has that been changed, or when's it come effect?
Whenever the council directs me, to do so.
You done talked to, what's his name, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna discuss it,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 10-4.
mm.
Moving on.
All right, America's 250. Let me increase the font on this. All right, so the city of Asheboro Sign Shop is making us banners and brackets for the light poles at the intersections. An example is depicted in the next slide. Asheboro also made the surrounding Randolph County municipalities banners. So we had to jump through a few hoops on this, get DOT approval. Has to be a certain foot away from the road, and then Duke Energy had to be lower down on, and it had to be on a specific height on the pole too. So we ran into a few little roadblocks and hurdles and a little bit of red tape, but we got through it. We have Mr. J.D. Peace, an event planner, is working on creating the 250th event. This would include food trucks, music, history briefing, and face painter. The venue for this will be more than likely here at the city council chambers, but I did have an amendment on that as of today because he did a site visit with me here. So we're gonna have to figure out a little bit of a bigger spot with a little bit more parking because we don't want them lined up down the road too. That wouldn't be ideal.
Fireworks, I did suggest Tannerite, but that was kind of, declined. Trinity, but.
Yeah.
Sound like a bomb going on.
But,
Those over on Jennifer Court.
Back in the woods.
and we're looking to host this event on Friday, July 17th. This includes sound stage, bands, generator, porta-johns, and anyway, we did it at a good budget too.
And that, so we've been talking around town and just different folks, and so Friends of Trinity are going to be decorating the park over off of Old Mendenhall.
Mm-hmm.
And I did talk to the Sunset Garden Club today, and fascinating, and getting the group to decorate around the gazebo I'm looking in September. I'm going to doing the Bell gazebo. But if we're going to have it up there near Braxton, that would be nice to do even more at the Bell gazebo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that, maybe figuring out bunting at the top. I did talk to Susan Reddick, and there's no hooks at the top of the gazebo. We don't want to do anything permanent, of course, at the gazebo, but if there's a way to attach bunting. I've done it at my house where you can attach it without drilling or things like
Yeah.
that. Not to
I
get too
got
into the
books
weeds.
all over my house.
Yeah, well, that's why I love it too, but that would be great to have it up there, and, especially since we're gonna have the event there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited. The cool thing about these brackets that you see also, we can use, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but we can use these in the fall and also Christmas.
Yep,
So,
most definitely.
sorry,
So
you're probably going to get to that.
it's a good investment. No, I was going to leave that to you too. And there's an example. That's the town of Liberty, what they used. And Ashboro Sign Shop made them that as well. So it looks good. It's definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah.
All right. And then we temporarily changed the City of Trinity's logo for the 250th celebration. So that was awesome with the help out of AI. And Rodney got on that and we made that. I think that looks cool.
Rodney made that?
Way to go, Rodney.
I was just typing words in.
He used AI.
He was like, hang on, I got an idea, and then came up. I was like, yep, that's perfect. Then I sent it to you all and got the green flag on that. All right, so then we got some extra decorations too. We got the wreaths and then the small flags too. We got a wreath that's on the door over here as well. And we're going to line these smaller flags, I guess, that around the annex or wherever. I'm sure we can find a good use for it. So that's it for the 250th celebration. Just wanted to say thanks to Councilman Welborn too for brainstorming with me. We were talking about how we ran into a few hurdles and everything, but we're getting there.
You know what, Michael, I have a suggestion for those flags.
Okay.
If we have a list somewhere of existing living veterans in Trinity, when my son was in the Marine Corps, we had, for Veterans Day, they went around and they put a flag at every mailbox where they knew a veteran lived, or a service member who was currently serving. And they just did it in our neighborhood, but I thought it was kind of neat, you know, to just stick it by the mailbox.
Can check into that. All right. So this is Ref Tellis. So we're talking about the Thomasville allocation, the sewer allocation, and we wanted to get kind of a gauge, and I wanted the council's direction on that. And so the City of Trinity wastewater allocation to the City of Thomasville. So as you all are aware, we went over there and we were kind of discussing preliminary stuff with them, just kind of seeing what we had. And Raf Tellis, this company was suggested by our engineer. So we contacted them, and they do studies like this, and I actually have the individual that represents them here tonight, and he can speak on this. We wanted to ensure complete accuracy when determining wastewater needs for the City of Trinity, because you not only look at today, but you look in the future too, as far as where the City of Trinity is going. So staff would like the council to, like I said, just point me in the direction and see if this is feasible. And at the moment, I can go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Chad Cowan.
Didn't we do this before, Crystal? When we were talking to the county?
No, we haven't had any studies like that.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure, I'm positive.
I was,
It was brought up.
I was involved with that
It was
several
brought
times.
up, and I think we wanted to split the cost of it with the county, and the county said no, and, you guys didn't want to split that whole bill, whatever it was, I don't remember an actual price. I don't know
Yeah.
that we ever got even an official price, honestly, but.
We never got an official price.
So this is 20,000?
No, we
20,000?
we had a price what they offered us, and then we countered it.
Yeah, I mean,
For the actual service. but
Yeah,
they do the-
no, for the allotment. No, we had a gentleman's agreement with Mr. Yates on what he would give us, and we countered it, and he never would respond to that.
and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is more
This
like
is
when
more-
Stevie
But,
was
yeah, and
making
Stevie,
evaluation
yeah,
of what,
and like we
not
said,
guessing what it was worth, but what it's worth.
yeah,
And,
he knew what it was worth, but he wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, we wouldn't be surprised, because we thought at that time, they already had done a study, and they knew what it was worth.
Stevie's suggestion was to do something like this and get a valuation of a true price
Yeah.
and
Were you go into
split it
negotiations?
with, see if the county would split the price.
Yeah.
They said no, and then I don't think, council didn't wanna.
Well, I think before we do this, we gotta really make sure that they want it, you know?
Yeah. And this is just a
Yeah,
informative presentation if we decide to go to that direction. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Cowan real quick.
And for sure, and he's gonna explain it, but this is more in depth, and, I mean, there's layers to, so it's more than just getting the valuation.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. I realize that I am the last thing between you almost in an executive session and getting home, so I'm going to try to go pretty quick through this. My name's Chad Cowan. I work for a company called Raftellus. We are a management consulting firm who is born in Charlotte. We work with hundreds, if not over 1,000 clients a year doing these sorts of studies and other studies for cities and other local entities and utilities. What we are talking about today, and is there?
Yeah, clicker. Oh, I got it right here. I'm sorry about that. Brought it with me.
So that's us. We do studies all across the country. Again, no. So the goal was to kind of evaluate all the exciting options you guys have in front of you with regards to your sewer system, which is a sentence I never really thought I would say in my life. And again, what we do is we build long-term financial models for our clients so that you all can have the best information possible when you're making choices and decisions. What we do with a lot of our clients is make sure that as you're adjusting rates and things, that you have a forecastable kind of process as you're going through it, and you're not surprised from you. And so what we'll do is we will develop a financial model. And within that model, we'll work on what are your expenses every year. We're going to look at the number of accounts you have, the billed consumption, all of the operating revenue or expenses on a line-by-line item compared to the budget. And then we'll look at your CIP and any capital projects you have planned in the coming years. We like to see it between 5 and 10 years if you have that sort of a forecast, just to have a better idea of where you're headed. And then we look at any of how you would look to fund those or what you're thinking about at this point, either cash versus debt. And then we also look at any existing financial policies you might have with regards to cash balances or how much net revenue you like to have on top of all of your expenses as far as running that cash balance. On the other side of the coin, we will look at your system revenues. We will look at historical population growth, any known developments that are in the offing. I know that earlier talking with the manager, there's 1,600 homes were approved 5-6 years ago, and you're somewhere in the process of those being built out. So we try to put that into the forecast. We will actually get a history of bills from the last 3 years, and we will analyze all of those bills for your entire system over the last 3 years so we can better forecast out what those revenues might look like. In this case, we'll also be looking at what happens with changes to those agreements so that you can look at, here's scenario A, everything stays the same. Here's scenario B, X or Y happens. We'll be able to build those scenarios out and then walk you through that part of the model so that you aren't faced with surprises. We will build out a dashboard so that you can look at those options side by side and really understand what is the likely outcomes of scenario A or scenario B or scenario C so that the council can understand those choices before they are finalized. And then again, we'll clearly outline the options and we'll illustrate potential impacts of each of the options that the city has with regards to its sewer fund and expense structure. Evaluate the customer impact, which is one of the things I know everyone likes it's really important to focus in on. And then hopefully we'll be providing you with some actionable data to assist you guys in making good decisions as you work through this piece of the process. One thing that was mentioned earlier that is not included in this scope of services is a full valuation of the asset that you have in Thomasville. We do have a team who does that, but we didn't want to include a number for that if we didn't know exactly what level of detail you wanted there. We didn't want to price you a full-blown valuation study, which is expensive, when all you really wanted was a high-level estimate. So we want to make sure that if and when we provide that sort of estimate, that we have an idea of what exactly the level of detail you really want us to go into, because there are obviously huge different levels of that. And that is about as fast as I can go to keep you guys moving. Are there any questions about the process or how we approach it?
It does sound like a thorough process. I think the biggest question is, what Councilman Walker brought up, is Thomasville interested? And that, I think that's one of the biggest,
Yeah.
here we go,
Well-
we can offer this, are you guys interested? That sort of thing, so.
I think the problem is go with a lot more stuff versus just what the
Yeah,
allotments
yeah,
are.
pricing,
Right.
forecasting, so I mean, it
Right.
looks very
It's a lot
beneficial.
more than-
Yeah. We walked away from Thomasville, so they don't need us.
You know,
That's bottom line. They said, well, we letting you have sewer for 10% less than we were our citizens, and we don't know why you left us, so toodaloo.
This is around 20,000, this proposal?
Yes.
For all the, and again, in addition to valuing, the value for Thomasville, it's also rates and future.
Yeah, this will be looking at the full kind of operation of the system, and as I think has been, you'll be shifting some of your sewage flow to High Point. And so as part of this analysis, we'll be looking at that option, the impact of that on your system going forward also.
And yeah, it has been discussed with Thomasville, and then I actually got approached by Davidson County. So, I mean, there is interest, and we're just in the preliminary stages and everything, and you don't want to, you know, if you go to, you know, sell something or sell some allocation back, and then, all right, well, we need it, and that's the reason why we have this, in order to ensure complete accuracy.
Make sure that we reserve what we think we're gonna,
Yeah.
may need for future.
Not just a shot off the hip.
That would be the other thing that we'd also be building into this forecast is the anticipated consumption based on your current use versus growth and all of those things as far as how you approach the capacity of the High Point pipe, and then what other capacity. Again, if you are looking to sell some of the capacity, do you want to sell it all? Do you want to sell half of it? Like looking at that future forecast. Over the last probably 5 years, it's become fantastically expensive to build new wastewater capacity. So again, you don't want to oversell now and think it's a great plan, and then 10 years from now, you're like, wow, the cost to add the additional 500,000 gallons back is a very large number.
Right.
We were a partner with Thomasville. Now we are a customer with High Point, so that changes the whole deal. And Thomasville said, well, we weren't the ones wanting to buy your sewer anyway, it was the county. There.
All right. I appreciate it, Mr.
And
Campbell.
if there are any other
Thank you.
questions that come up after this, just feel free to funnel them through the manager, and I'll be happy to respond to those.
How long before we get an answer, what you think on this?
It kind of depends on how long it takes us to get the data back. I think that Davidson Water, so what we do is get the billing data, is usually the thing that slows down this process the most, but I think we should be able to get that information from Davidson Water, because I think the bills are based on the consumption on the water side. So we'd be able to get that information, then it should move pretty quickly, probably a couple months, 3 months or so, somewhere in there, depending. Again, it depends on how the data collection process goes. And then also, as we're working through the scenarios for what might happen is on the growth side, and then also on adjusting this remaining capacity if there were to be a transaction, how many of those scenarios we want to work through, I think will dictate kind of the speed on that.
Thomasville's in the driver's seat, right?
I don't think so. I think wastewater capacity, again, there is high demand for it because it's so expensive to build it at this point. I mean, I want to say, like, and don't, as I heard earlier, don't hold me to this, but the last estimates I've seen, somewhere about $30 million to build a 1 MGD new facility. So that's, I mean, it's a valuable asset, and there's not an overabundance of it in kind of the Carolina core here.
They don't have to deal with us.
I think there's always gonna be some desire for Thomasville to have some of that capacity back, if not all of it. Davidson County, I think, was readily available for it, and Thomasville didn't have to be middleman, maybe. But I think there's some value in knowing what it's worth. I made the comment earlier to Mr. Cowan, I'm not a fan of selling gold for the price of silver. And, you know,
My question is, if we are a partner with Thomasville, does that mean we have to pay for upgrades?
I don't typically use the term partner in that
Okay,
way. I don't
but
think,
the contract that we have with Thomasville, we have to pay for a certain percentage for upgrades, right? Is that based on how much usage we are, like if we sold half of our allotment, then would that lower
we
the
would be
price that we would
rewriting
have
a
to pay for?
contract at that point, you know. I don't, you know, not for nothing, I don't think Thomasville's been, they're not a bad, partner.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we had just as much hand in negotiating the contract as they did. It's not their fault that maybe we chose a less than, you know, tasteful contract for us.
All right. Yeah, safe
Yep.
travels. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
You're not gonna take action on that,
Hmm.
You need
This is just a basic, it was a presentation and everything too. I mean, council can take action, but I mean, whichever way. To continue to move forward, or you want to table it to August, or whichever way. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to have Mr. Cowan in just for the presentation, just information session. Yeah.
Mr. Cowan, I think you said that getting that number, that's not a part of the.
Correct.
Do you have a ballpark?
So I talked with our valuation team, and again, there's the full-blown valuation study that I think that, and I'm not in this space, so I'm way outside my lane trying to like walk through this, but there's these three different approaches for the valuation for the full-blown study, and that is somewhere in the $30,000 range. Again, sight unseen, not having talked this through with them. On the low end, you probably get something more like, hey, we get one specific of those three, which is going to be lower, like $10,000 range probably, again.
Yeah.
In talking with the person who runs that group, Steve Donald, our economist, he had said that, hey, we want to have a full conversation to understand exactly what you want, so that we can price it appropriately. If you don't want, they don't want to do what I just did, which is toss out a number that
Sure.
might not fit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just looking for a ballpark. So, you know, I mean, if we are coming back in August, September, you know, whatever. You know, I mean, you guys will know.
How many $1 million are we into going to High Point now?
Talked about that last week.
Yeah, and that was in the 8 million. The total was 13. We're in the 8 now, yeah.
And it'll probably be 15 million, right, when it gets done?
I think it was at the max 13.
That's not our, that was.
That's
grant-
High Point,
grant.
yeah.
But
That's
the money-
grant.
The money's
Yeah.
grant money.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, if you can switch it back to the PowerPoint.
I remember when that started out at 5 million.
All right, so that's the end of my presentations. So, we already decided the no July meeting. I think we're good to go from there.
All right, well, I reckon we got public comment before we go to closed session. I reckon it's Chad to talk about discussing wastewater.
That was him. He's already done it.
Well, don't be writing your name on this thing. Okay. Thank you, sir. Have a safe one home. Okay, well, number 12 is mayor and council discussions, if there's any to be discussed.
Need to go ahead and close the public comment period, or well, there's not anybody on there, is there?
That's all.
Okay, okay.
Upcoming events.
July 17th.
Who?
Also,
July 17th.
July 17th, we're going to have the Trinity 250th. Also, Farmers Market is every Saturday from 8 until 2? 8 until 12.
And they opened this past Saturday. I called them down here
Yeah.
selling nothing. Almost nothing.
Need some rain. Need some rain.
So we had some good BLTs Sunday night from some of those tomatoes. And I know Whitaker Farms a little bit, but this Saturday you'll have some supply. And so, yeah. And then Farmers Market will go all the way through which month? August 29th. Okay, yeah.
And so they'll have some good produce up here, Danny said, come this coming Saturday. So fresh out of the garden. Planning and zoning meeting is June the 15th. Do we have anything on the planning and zoning yet, Jill?
Yes, we're working on the, required amendments, FEMA has sent us some information.
Okay, so we'll have a meeting. We got something
I have a question.
to handle.
Paul, can you sit in for me? June 15th?
I will be in Washington, D.C.
Hey.
Yeah.
Want to do that? Okay, burial. Sit in. I'll be in Myrtle Beach. Sleeping in a bedroom with 2 boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 2 grandsons.
I can't say if it's a hardship for anyone, it's only amendments to ordinances that's gonna, and they're required by federal and state law that we make them. So if you can't, this was the better month.
Yeah.
I don't have any rezoning cases or anything on that.
Okay, gentlemen and ladies, I reckon we're ready to go to closed session for the personnel and,
Say legal.
huh?
Legal.
For legal. Per NSGS 143-318.11A, parentheses, 3 parentheses. I take a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
David and Paul,
Madam Clerk, that's legal.
and it's legal. Okay,
Have a vote?
I can't get anybody to vote. Yep, right, it's all good.
Get off your phone.
Bathroom break. Well, be-
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man, it's a marathon tonight. I told my family, I said, oh, I don't think it's going to be that. Oh, you haven't eaten supper yet?
No.
Goodness, I don't know how you do it. Your
Well-
blood sugar's like 60 right now, bro.
Well, I'm telling you.
You could claim it as intermittent fasting.
Russ, thank you for hanging around.
How long you gonna be, Bob?
I don't think it'll be long. City manager wants to talk a little bit too. Sir.
Oh, God. Guys, don't forget you put your closed session to the clerk before you leave. Oh, she did?
First night, I know that.